Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ESL Dota 2 Malaysia Singapore Championship. This is the third week, day number 1. I'm HusKKiee and I'm joined by the one and only Danelie.
Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to have some questions as to what is actually going on, and we actually just got the information ourselves just recently. So the people that are going to be joining us for today, our first match is actually unfortunately not going to be happening.
Yeah, and we will explain it as we go along. But before that, let's take a quick peek of last week's result and see what actually transpired. So Team X against P1 Gaming, a clean 2-0 sweep. Same happened between Junior Gaming and Unicorn. Team Legenda upsetting Geek Fam by taking away 3 points from them, and Flower Gaming bagging 6 points for themselves.
Yeah, so I think last week we pretty much summed up really. It's more or less expected. Although there was one result that was
unexpected.
A little bit out there.
The Legenda versus Geek Fam one. I think Geek Fam dropped the ball in game number 1.
So for today's schedule, as you can see, Junior Gaming and Flower Gaming unfortunately is not going to be happening. Junior Gaming has actually decided to forfeit against Flower Gaming as one of their players wasn't able to make the match.
Yeah, due to unforeseen circumstances, Flower Gaming would take another 6 points for free. So unfortunate for Junior Gaming. However, Team X and Geek Fam will proceed as planned at 9 PM. And with that being said, it will directly affect the standings as we will show it on screen right now. Flower Gaming sits on top, 18 points, 0 losses, followed by Unicorn, Geek Fam, P1 Gaming, and the rest will follow.
Yeah, so depending on how Geek Fam and Team X actually play out today, I feel like we could be in for a little bit of an upset depending on how both sides decide to play this out. Because Geek Fam, last week, I think a lot of us didn't really expect them to lose that one game.
That
probably expected the 2-0. Now against Team X. Now Team X is a little bit of a stronger team as well. Not to say that they're down there. I feel like they do have a lot of potential. I actually want to ask your opinion. Do you think it's going to be a 2-0 today or a tie?
I want to say that it's going to be a tie. I feel like Team X is this explosive team where if they're having a good game, they'll hit the top really quickly. But if they don't, then they will hit rock bottom. So it's more like a 50-50 at this point for them. It depends on... unfortunately, I would say it depends on the state of their mind during that particular game. But judging from how Geek Fam played last week against Legenda, I wouldn't be surprised if Team X ties it out or even takes the whole series from them.
I think for me, if I sort of looked at the overall picture when it comes to this matchup, I think if Geek Fam does their research and sees how Team X plays, because I get the feeling that Team X, they're very reliant on a few players in terms of their lineup. If they sort of shut down those heroes, prevent the explosiveness from that particular play. I don't want to say because I don't know if they're watching the stream or whatnot. They'll never listen to us anyway, let's be real. But if they can play around Team X, because I do feel like Team X, they're very reliant on... Should I say it? Yeah, I feel like Fixers is their star player.
Fixers.
I really feel like Fixers is that star player, and I think if Geek Fam, they play around Fixers, sort of prevent him from getting his heroes, shut down the supports, slow the game down, and actually push up their own cores, I really feel like Geek Fam could 2-0 today.
Yeah, I feel like it's not just that Fixers, it's not just Fixers being the core. How the rest of Team X plays around him is actually really smart. They slow down their lanes. They don't go for those risky plays, and they try to wait until Fixers hits that timing to come online.
You know what this reminds me of? They actually remind me of the old MVP Phoenix with how Kyo played.
Yeah.
Remember how Kyo was like he was the one. He was the chosen one, and the team would play around him. Yeah. I get those vibes when I watch Team X.
Well, hopefully they get to put on that performance against Geek Fam, because again, judging from after last week, I'm not fully convinced with Geek Fam's ability. I'm not saying that they are bad. I'm just saying that it could have gone better. They should not have lost against Legenda. It should have been a clean 2-0, judging from their past experience, the players in that team. However, with that being said, after losing that one game, maybe they need to reevaluate how they play the rest of the group stage, because that one loss might have just costed them first place or even second place.
I don't think you probably wouldn't really care about first or second place right now, right? I would say at least securing that top 4 for the teams. That's the most important thing. And I think there is a chance of 6 teams potentially being, not 6 teams making it to top 4, but I feel like there are 6 teams that can potentially make it up there. And there's going to be a bit of a tie, I think, for the last slot. I'm going to be honest here. I think the last slot's going to be very highly contested this season.
Unless Geek Fam wants to play for the the seedings like 1, 4, 2, 3, it wouldn't matter too much where they place in the top 4. But if they want to play for that seedings, then it's going to be a bit tricky, especially when you are losing games that you haven't lost. Even though it's just one game, but that's the only chance you get to play against that team, that particular team. The rest of the weeks are going to be harder.
Yeah, so I think at this point we're just going to have to see how the teams play out. I mean, they've got a lot of extra time to sort of prep now, as don't really have to. I mean, we can prep as well.
Yeah.
Start looking into some of these background games for these teams to see if we can sort of catch something out. Because I'm hoping we get another sort of crazy draft like last week that we had with Flower Gaming.
Oh yeah.
Picking up the Venge draft. That was not something we expected.
I expect more craziness coming in from Team Max rather than Geek Fam. I think Geek Fam plays a very conventional Dota. They stick with the meta, they stick with what they're good at, and they play around that. But Team Max, I don't know, maybe if they incorporate this kind of surprise, like goofy picks into the explosiveness, it might work out. I'm not fully sure about that, but I would like to see them try.
If you know something that I would really like to see coming out from Team X, I would like to see maybe the team alleviating some of the pressure from fixers. Don't have fixers sort of do everything. Put a bit of the pressure on maybe the supports, do some rotations. I'd even say put a little bit of faith into their offlane as well. I feel like the offlane hasn't been their primary focus at all. It's been mostly either mid or sometimes it's that carry.
Yeah.
Offlane doesn't really get that spotlight. Maybe they should put some more emphasis onto some of the other roles, because I think if you play a particular way, you become very one-dimensional. And obviously being one-dimensional, it's risky, because unless you're so good that people have to play around you all the time, there's going to have to be a time where you need to play differently, and different players need to sort of step up while others need to step down to give them that limelight and to support them to do it.
And that kind of resonates with how Legenda played against Geek Fam in Game 1 last week, where if you can't really keep up with what Geek Fam are doing individually in the lanes, you play reactively towards what Geek Fam are doing in your lanes. Like the TP plays coming in from Legenda doing that game that they won. I think these are the reactive actions that actually help them secure that early to mid, that first 15 minutes. And if Team S couldn't really keep up in terms of laning, maybe this kind of reactive maneuvers would help them alleviate the pressure a bit against Geek Fam.
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, the games, at the end of the day, it's going to be up to the players. They're going to pick the heroes. They're going to pick the lanes.
Yeah.
And I think for us, the casters, you guys at home, viewers as well, we're just going to have to watch everything unfold. Now, speaking of unfolding, you probably want to know when the match is going to happen. Well, unfortunately, we won't be able to push the match forward. It is going to still be playing at 9 o'clock Singapore, Malaysian, and Philippine Standard Time. So, guys, make sure you got your clocks ready, because once we're back, hopefully, the game is about to begin. HusKKiee, you ready?
Yep, definitely ready.
Yeah.
Like, a bit more time to prep for the games, but I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Great. Well, until then, guys, we're going to go for a break. And once we're back, hopefully, we'll be able to start our first match and our last set for the day. Stick around, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESL Dota 2 Malaysia Singapore Championship, third week, first day. I'm HusKKiee and I'm with Danelie.
Yeah, sorry about the wait, guys. I know a lot of you guys have been looking forward to this next up-and-coming match, but I think it's almost ready.
We're finally ready for it.
Finally.
It's
We've been
going
waiting.
to be between T-Max and Geek Fam. So, as you can see right now, T-Max, a team that I would say is has a bit of a rocky journey so far.
I would say they're definitely classified as a dark horse here. They're not a top. I wouldn't say they're top of the leaderboard, but I wouldn't say they're down there either. I think they have a lot of potential if they can just stick a finger out, take some of those really clutch matches. I think they can make it top 4 no problem.
Yeah, and in contrast to that, Geek Fam really experienced. We know almost the entire lineup.
Exactly.
KYXY, Alacrity, but T-Max, like you pointed out, they are centralized around fixers, the mid laner. But I remember also adding on that the support, Nuts and Insidious, they're actually doing a really good job of being the enabler. They might not be the best in terms of mechanics, but they are able to accomplish the task of dragging the game out and enabling the cores to come online.
Speaking of enablers, I would even say 2D is very, very. This is not a word. He's very enably. He plays like kind of like a support, but it's sort of this initiating support role. He's never in that star role that fixers or luck is in. He's that backbone for the team. He's there to make the core players, not to say that he isn't a core, but to make them do the flashy plays.
Yeah, and I think the same can be said for Geek Fam's lineup. I think Brian has done a lot of amazing plays. Even when he dies from the grave, he makes something happen, as we saw from last week. But I believe the drafts are ready. So we're going to jump right into the picks and bans for the first game. This is between T-Max and Geek Fam.
All right, so let's see what strats we're going to be looking for today. Now, this is our first game of the day as well, so
Yes.
I'm kind of hoping we get a little bit of action, maybe some craziness with the draft, although this game is quite important for both Geek Fam and Team X.
It's especially important for, I would say, T-Max, because they need the points. They are in this I would say they're in the middle of the entire scoreboard, and taking points off of teams like Geek Fam, which you only face once in the group stage, is going to be more important to T-Max compared to Geek Fam. Because Geek Fam,
I think
like
in this circumstance, I think Geek Fam's also gonna have to try and get these points as well. Because I mean, they had a little bit of I'm gonna call it a blunder last week. I feel like it was a blunder last week. You don't want to make another blunder and lose even more points. Because even though 3 points might not look like a lot, I think considering how early it is in the season, no one knows where they're going to be at the end of the season, at the end of the group stage.
Yeah.
So I think you need to sort of think ahead. You want to play really hard, really early in the season. Once you see where you are, then maybe you can sort of relax a little bit, but I think you need to just play hard the whole time.
I think if you want to replicate what Flower Gaming did, like trying out new stuff, you need to be really confident. You need to have you need to be in the circumstance where you know you're going to win and you are just using it as a experimental ground. But I think for Geek Fam, they shouldn't let their guard down, especially against T-Max, which despite a very conventional draft, it's going to be really explosive because they're bringing in something like a Magnus and a Lion for their first 2 picks.
Now, we don't even know what kind of a Magnus this could be, because we've seen... Did we see support Magnus last week?
Yeah.
There was one support
Was it
Magnus.
last week or week 1? I think it's either one.
I think it was week 2 because... Oh, actually, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's actually week 1, I remember.
Was it week 1?
There was a Tide Hunter in that game as well.
Okay, because I remember, we saw the support Magnus. You get the classical mid Magnus, and then occasionally you get that offlane Magnus as well. So we don't even know who's going to be handling this for Team X yet. Whereas for Geek Fam, you're running a Razor. I mean, Razor can go mid. You can also throw him safe lane. Personally, I'm not a major fan of throwing Razor safe lane, but I mean, any solo matchup is not too bad for Razor.
I think if we're looking at Geek Fam, it's possible that Razor might go safe lane as well. Alacrity, and I feel like Alacrity is more comfortable on heroes that have those high mechanic cap instead of something as I would say it's Dow as Razor, that you just walk up and static link someone. But we'll see, because Alacrity has played, I believe, Temple Assassin, which he performed just great. He was great on that hero.
Yeah. You know what I'm actually thinking here, right? Because we've seen a lot of Magnus PA.
Oh yeah,
I actually think Geek Fam picked up this Razor in the case that
PA goes
maybe there's not just PA, but I think any physical hero to pair up with the Magnus.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is technically a very early Razor pick. A lot of people won't like this. I think in this case, this sort of changes the way that Team X plays because you suddenly can't just go ham with whatever your physical carry is or whoever is going to be getting the buffs from that Magnus. I think Geek Fam, I really like how they're thinking ahead. For Team X, though, what is the solution to the Razor? Because Razor's not a hero that you sort of look at and say, he's the end game, he's the be-all, end-all during the late game. He's more of that hero that gets in the way going up to that late game scenario.
I feel like if you want to deal with someone like a Razor, I wanted to say Bat Rider. I feel like Bat Rider is not the best, but at least he doesn't care about the static link. You have to Firefly, but Bat Rider is banned out. I had one hero in mind. It slipped off. I don't know. Brewmaster? I feel like if you have the 3 pandas, the primal split, you can actually effectively deal with a Razor.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to put Panda with... Actually, Panda Magnus isn't too bad. That's a lot of team fight. Pretty strong lanes as well. Although Magnus's lane isn't particularly strong, because if this is mid Magnus, there's a chance he's going to go 1-to-1 against a Razor in the mid lane. That's not going to be fun at all.
Yeah.
So maybe for X, they could probably go for a flex pick here. Try and pick something that won't get destroyed in the lane, but that means that you're suddenly going to have to throw 2D on the Magnus, because you don't want to put safe lane Magnus.
I feel like if in the event that the Razor goes mid, OD is banned as well. In the event that Razor goes mid, I think... Oh god. The heroes that I have in mind were all banned out.
We're not going for Viper either because we haven't
we're
had...
not going for Viper.
We haven't had any good games. I know a lot of people consider Viper sort of semi counter to Razor, but...
He's just too straightforward. He provides nothing much then, I believe.
It forces your carry and your offlane to have to overperform, I feel, to overcompensate for the Viper at the end of the day.
I think if for something like for a team like Team Max, you definitely don't want Fixers to play the Viper because he's the one that should be enabled.
He needs something like we've seen him play his Kunkka, we've seen him play Shadow Fiend.
And he's tiny as well.
For all we know, though, we could see Shadow Fiend, but that means that you're not going to be able to fully utilize the Magnus. Normally, you want to get some melee hero that can play around the Magnus.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised that PA, Juggernaut are still on the table, and T-Max, they actually went for the Wind Ranger.
By the way, Insidious plays the Wind Ranger, right? I think it was Insidious that played it last time.
Yeah, I remember there was a Wind Ranger support.
Yeah, I think it was Insidious. I was actually quite impressed by how he played the Wind Ranger.
Yeah, it was Insidious, I remember.
Yeah.
It was against P1 last week where they just took the game away.
So we have a Rubik pickup here for Geek Fam. Pretty solid support duo. I'm actually... Unless it's a mid Rubik, I highly doubt it, to be honest. But Rubik Tusk, I actually really like the support duo. You've got a lot of ways to keep heroes stunned. You can pull heroes back into the Ice Shards if the Ice Shards don't quite connect. You've got Snowball. And there's a lot of spells you can steal as Rubik this game as well. Finger of Death, Earth Spike, Magnus RP, Wind Ranger Wind Run can come in handy if you want to try and catch heroes out.
Yeah, the Shackle Shot as well. It's so effective. Rubik is going to be great this game when you don't have someone like a Puck or QOP or OD, like all the heroes
anything that bursts him down, right?
I don't think Rubik has much to worry about, but that might change when you have an Ember Spirit around.
Okay, I like the Ember Spirit pick because you are going to be able to combo up with the Magnus.
Oh yeah.
Ember Spirit, I don't think he really struggles against a Razor because he can fall back to the Flame Guard if he wants to farm up that lane.
Kaya, Spirit Vessel.
I'm talking about laning stage here with the Ember Spirit. So I think Ember, Razor's still going to hurt, but I think in a back and forth, I think Ember Spirit's a really good pick here. Worst comes to worst, they throw maybe the Lion Wind Ranger mid, push back the Razor a little bit, get Ember to level 3, so he gets the 2 points. Then he might be okay.
I think at this point of the draft, you can kind of flex between like Wind Ranger and Ember, but I want to believe that Wind Ranger and Lion are going to be the support.
I'm gonna say the same thing.
I don't see. I think Magnus right now needs the cash flow. He really needs the farm early on. Like even just get the budget blink dagger, get a Frost Staff. You don't really need the blink. Ember, if you give him the empower and you can survive long enough in a fight to cause some chaos with that RPN and Shockwave, Ember can clean up.
I actually want to know if this is a 2D Magnus, if it's going to be offlane Magnus. Because, now the reason I say this is that if it's 2D Magnus, it's going to fall back to that support utility Magnus.
Yo, yeah.
Very, very support utility. That's sort of how I've seen 2D sort of play. He doesn't seem to be that hyper-aggressive, tries to go for solo kills, risky plays. He's a very safe player, it seems, so far. He could prove me wrong, but that's what I've sort of been able to put together with what the Team X has done in Alchemist for Geek Fam. Oh.
Well, Geek Fam are actually playing this. Like, they really want the goal.
Not just that, though. I
It's
actually
really
think...
greedy.
I don't think it's... I actually think this fits in.
Yeah, it fits in.
I mean,
I think Alchemist against... Yeah, Alchemist is perfect. Why not? Because there's... I don't think
they
there's-
could do anything with the lanes.
Yeah.
It could be Razor mid. It could be Alchemist mid. I mean, Alk beats out Magnus mid. No problem. Ember Spirit's not gonna enjoy. He's not gonna enjoy Alchemist mid. Although I think Alchemist will be a little bit weak up until he gets some of those levels. Then
Yeah.
he might be able to compete. I think the safest option, just throw him safe lane. If it's off lane Magnus, he should be fine. And he's got great supports as well.
You can still put the Ember in the safe lane as well. So I think X, if they are confident that the Alchemist is going mid, which is most probably going to happen, they can always try to counter pick, or at least pick a hero that won't suffer that much against an Alchemist. Because I think Ember Spirit, even though he won't have an absolutely hard time against an Alchemist, his Flame Guard doesn't really prevent what do you call it, the acid spray. Because that physical damage and armor reduction would just eat through Ember Spirit early on.
Yeah. Actually, I really wish I could see both teams now to see what they're thinking. I wonder if Team X has a hero in mind that they really want to pick already. And I wonder if Geek Fam's going to get that ban off. Juggernaut, very smart ban. Because if you look at Geek Fam, their only major push hero right now is the Alchemist. Razor, not very great when it comes to pushes. Obviously, Alchemist. Tuscan, Rubik, not necessarily great pushes either. So I think for Geek Fam, if they're going to make this game work, it's going to be a lot of pressure put on Alchemist to make sure those lanes are pushed. Whereas you look at Team X, I mean, their tower push isn't too bad. Wind Ranger support, I mean, she's alright. Ember Spirit, actually Ember Spirit's not a great pusher either. Neither is Magnus. They need the Empower.
5 seconds remaining.
Thinking of what hero the teammates can pick for their last one. Because, I don't know, they don't have a great pusher other than Wind Ranger, which is most likely going support. I don't see a reason that you put Magnus support, because he needs to go more than a Wind Ranger. I think Wind Ranger can transition, has an easier transition from a support to a core if needed.
You know what I'm actually thinking here? I feel like Team X, they're going to go for that group up style of Dota we saw last week, where they consistently fight as 5, don't really separate. Because if you look at how the lineup is right now, Geek Fam wants to go for little kills,
Yeah.
little pushes. They don't want to go for entire teams of kills. They don't want to go 5v5 because there's RP. Major spell. Earth Spike, if it lands onto 2, that's very lethal as well. Shackle Shot, very deadly in team fights. Ember Spirit, obviously you know what Ember Spirit does in a team fight as well. Last Pick Tiny, I mean, I'm a fan. Not too bad. Very good mid-game tempo, depending on how the lanes go as well. If he gets an early blink, he can kill off Lion and Wind Ranger easily.
Yeah, and if he catches the Ember as well, you can cripple the Ember Spirit. Like, suddenly Ember cannot fight.
Anti-mage.
Yeah, I was scratching my head in terms of what X can pick, but I did not see anti-mage coming.
Okay, this is definitely not going to be a group up 5.
Yeah, there we go, 2D Magnus.
Anyways, it's 2D Magnus, so they're going to put luck on the anti-mage. That means they're going to have to go for 4 Protect 1, which we saw Geek Fam try to do this last week,
Yes.
and they got punished because of their lanes. Now, I'm looking at this. Ember Spirit's a hero that needs a little bit of time during lanes unless he has a fantastic laning stage. Now, mind you, he's going up against Alacrity
Alacrity
in the middle
on
lane.
the Alchemist.
Yep.
I don't think that... I feel like Geek Fam, they have the catch potential, but if you compare Geek Fam current lineup to Legenda's lineup last week against their 4 Protect 1, it isn't as threatening. You don't have too much of a catch other than Tiny and Rubik, which you can only rely on them completely when they get that Blink Dagger or Force Staff, and when they get the lane snowballing. Because one of the major reasons that Legenda got full control of the first 15 minutes was they were winning lanes. You have the Sven Lestrak, they were completely smashing the lanes. You have the TA, which was backed up by the Abaddon the entire game. But in this situation, I think it's a bit different. and it will be harder for Geek Fam to kind of take control of the lane and just shut the AM down.
I'm just thinking here, how are they going to play out with this anti-mage? Because you're running a Magnus. There have been some cases, now these are very rare cases, it's not very normal, where anti-mages will bypass the Battle Fury because they have access to Empower and they'll try and grab these other items and they fight early. But how does anti-mage fare in these early team fights? Because if you look at how the heroes have been picked and drafted, it looks to me that Geek Fam, they want to finish the game early. Alchemist's peak timing is about 30 minutes. That's when he should have all of his items. He could maybe even buy items for his teammates. Whereas you look at Team X, they want to drag it for longer.
Yeah, and I think if the game goes late, 40 to 45 minutes, Team X actually has a better chance. You have the Ember, which would start to rip through like Tiny or Razor. Same for Anti-Mage. But I agree, when you have Alchemist has an early pick timing, same as Tiny as well. The mid-game spike for Tiny is insane when he has a good lane. And you put these two together and they can actually cause a lot of trouble for a late game lineup like Team X. But the problem is, can they survive the early? Can they pressure Team X enough to shut them down effectively? Because I feel like they don't present the same effectiveness as Legenda's lineup. If we have to do a comparison.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit worried here for Team X. I think a lot of it's going to come down to the laning stage, and if they can eventually shut down one of these lanes to cripple Geek Fam's progression, because I think a lot of this Team X, I mean, I think some of the movement's going to have to be based on luck, because if Geek Fam plays this 100% correctly, there is no way they should lose this game.
Yep,
no way.
Definitely have to agree, but we'll see if that happens because the game is ready. So we'll jump right in. This is game number 1 between Geek Fam and Team X.
All right, let's see how things are going to play out. Can Team X draw the game out for the anti-mage? Because we've seen an anti-mage so far, hasn't won. Let's see if this is going to be the victory game, because if it's going to be 0-2 at this point, I think teams are not going to be favoring the anti-mage for much longer.
Yeah, I think anti-mage is always going to be a good pick. Just it's a matter of whether he hits that timing, if he hits that peak where he can actually start performing. Because if you jump into a lineup such as Geek Fam's, you have the telekinesis, you have the snowball save, you have Alchemist just wailing at you, you have the Razor. It's impossible for AM to even consider frontlining or leading the fight. So I think Team X, definitely, like you say, they will try to drag it out as much as they could. Same goes for Ember, but for the rest of Team X, if they are playing like their normal playstyle, it's going to be the support and the off-lane playing utility and enabling both the cores to come online.
Alright, so we've got a little bit of lane swapping here, although 2D's not going to like this lane at all. It's a Razor matchup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a... not a fun lane. Although, at least they're going to try and get that anti-mage lane going. Now, anti-mage is going to be laning up against Tiny, which... this could be scary depending on how this turns out, but if they don't die early on, I think Luck should be able to get the CS he's looking for.
I believe with the Lion around, it should be a bit harder for Tiny to even do anything. But there was a very weird Earth Spike that missed.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe misclick.
Yeah, maybe misclick.
Not quite sure what's happening there.
But I doubt that Geek Fam can do too much damage to the anti-mage with the Lion around. He has decent control, he has the hacks as well. 2D doesn't mind being in the same lane as the Razor, even though it's going to be a tough lane, because you can always last it with that shockwave. It's just about the mana expenditure, which at the end of the day, if 2D can get to that item spike or at least get to level 7, post level 7 without dying too much and having control of the lane, Luck should be very happy. As you can see the blink already coming in. He's going on to Mercury. The Tiny will take that tree trunk and start smacking the AM, but the damage is just coming in. Luck will draw that first blood, and now the Earth Spike onto the Rubik, which is going to just walk away from there.
That was actually a really good skill build coming out of here from Luck. He's actually gone for the mana burn. He burned all of Tiny's mana. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, Tiny has low mana pool. I think at level 2 or 3 you can only do one skill rotation with the Avalanche toss. And they're even going to find the Rubik, but that Avalanche will stop the aggression from Team X. But you can see even the Rubik is like seriously crippled. And with that mana burn, like you said, Luck is just taking away Mercury's mana. There's nothing that Mercury can do. You can hardly even get a combo off at this point.
And it looks like Geek Fam, they're going to be a bit hesitant to try and go for a lane swap here, because Razor fares pretty well against anti-mage, but I mean, it's pretty simple. If they see the swap, they just go for the TP themselves. They're going to have to try and do this a little bit sneakily, try and like slide them into the lane to see if they can get the matchup that they're looking for. You don't want to be caught during a lane swap, because if you get caught, you're going to have to play that game of ring around the rosy. And well, Team X getting another kill. I mean, the lane is looking great so far.
Yeah, it's actually looking really amazing. Like how you talked about 2D not going to enjoy the lane with, I believe, KYXY on the Razor. We kind of overlooked the fact that they had a Wind Ranger, which is going to help ease that pressure onto the Magnus. The Wind Ranger provides a lot of utility, but Snowball come in, going for the target, which is Nuts. Great two-man Earth Spike, but I doubt that Nuts can get away from this. The tag team will slow him down as the Avalanche will secure that kill for Shanks.
That's a lot of mana used as well, but it's a support kill. To bring a support over just for this kill, I'm just trying to see.
They might end up tri-laning this. Just
Do you want to tri-lane to protect a Tiny?
I don't know. It feels like, I don't know if they want to commit to that tri-lane or they just want to send Brian around to gank all the lanes. Because I think for Team X, the most gankable lane is definitely the bot lane, where you can go onto the Lion. Magnus and Wind Ranger are too slippery to even attempt to gank. Ember Spirit is the same thing as well. So if they commit to the tri-lane, they're opening up the Razor lane to Team X, but they're guaranteeing that the bottom lane doesn't bleed out too much. So I think at the end of the day, it's a small win for Geek Fam, but a bigger win for Team X.
I think if anything, though, they don't actually mind leaving the Razor in the off lane.
Yeah.
I mean, look at his CS. He's still ahead of 2D. So I think if anything, they're just going to have to try and pressure out these other two lanes, because Razor should be fine, although this might not be fine.
Fixer's trying to go for the Slide of Fist, but the damage is a bit lacking. He's just going to run with the Flame Guard, which will be burnt out by that Fade Bolt. And Shanks with the TP in, trying to get that kill onto Fixer's. Ember Spirit knows that he's in danger. Start running away. I doubt that Shanks will get the kill, but he does save that mid laner.
That was some really good juking as well, coming out from the Alchemist, really trying to duck and dive into the tree lines. Couldn't quite find him.
The 2D is ready. Comes out with the skill, misses that, but he won't miss the bounty rune. So he'll take that away, but into the hands of 3 members from Geek Fam, as KYXY will find him with a static link. Snowball rolls right in. Brian with the tag team will slow down 2D. The Shockwave will not do much, and KYXY will grab that kill.
Yeah, that's what happens when you use the skewer to get the bounty rune. Not really that big of a loss though. His death timer is really low. You can just TP back into lane, it should be fine.
Yeah, Mercury though is actually suffering against the AM. The mana burn is doing so much damage to him.
Okay, hang on. It's not too bad. If you look at the CS charts, they're actually tied.
They're actually tied.
So even though Anti-Mage is getting free farm, so is Tiny, so is Alchemist, so is Razor. So I think if anything, the lanes look a little tough. But as long as they're getting the CS, I think they're completely fine. I mean, in particular, the Alchemist. He's leading CS.
Oh yeah.
You know what Alchemists do when they start rolling in gold, okay? They just grow a golden hand. You don't know where it comes from, and suddenly the game is over.
He just runs at you with a radiance at 10 minutes, and you have no answer to it. Especially not with Team X's lineup. They have zero answer to a radiance.
Yeah.
Radiance Alchemist. But Nuts will find that haste rune. And I think he's a beeline towards bot lane. The Avalanche is now used. Luck is ready for Nuts as the Lion.
There is a toss available, I suppose, but I'm just worried.
As Nuts comes right in. It's going to land that right click as the mana burn will come through. Now no mana for toss. The body block actually not committed by Nuts as he sees a TP from Brian. Again, another TP committed by Geek Fam. Team X don't get the kill on the Tiny, but they do push him out.
They have to keep his support down there with him at all times. And just thankfully, though, they don't need to really do anything for KYXY. He's doing fine.
Yeah, he's actually he actually has more farm and deny.
He's doing great. Honestly, I didn't expect KYXY to have this much of a free lane. I was honestly expecting Team X to be able to push him out, but maybe they're worried about the Razor. You don't really want to overstay your boundaries with this hero, because if you get punished with no escape mechanism, you're just going to get chopped down. He can do a lot of damage.
And I like what Geek Fam is doing right now. They are letting Shanks on the Rubik to get that free XP in the middle lane, and they're sending Alacrity to the jungle to start farming out, to start baiting in a tub of gold. And there's honestly nothing that Nuts can do.
Yeah, I mean, Nuts can steal EXP, but that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
At the same time, the support the support from Geek Fam side is getting free XP, it's getting free farm, and Nuts is getting nothing, just other than just some measly EXP. HusKKiee is not going to be worried about that. He can always heal up with the Chemical Rage. And Nuts, if he stays around too long, he might die as well to a collapse from Geek Fam. So Geek Fam definitely doing this thing right. And if you look at the other lanes, like you just pointed out, they're all doing really fine. And if you're Geek Fam, you're super happy with the result.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're actually not trying to push out Tiny, maybe get him to waste some regen, because at this rate, I mean, yeah, maybe he's not doing the best in lane, but he's still CSing. He doesn't feel afraid that he's going to die, and well...
Oh, Shanks would die to that collapse from Nuts, but quick Shackle Shot will keep Brian in place. So Nuts does get away with that kill. That would help him a bit, but Mercury is here. Gonna create a landslide and toss Nuts up. He will fall down and crack his head. Back to the fountain he goes.
Just a little bit of a kill. That's actually a very big kill for Tiny as well, considering how sad he is in laning stage. Just that little bit of extra gold gonna get him closer and closer to his items. But I think regardless of how everything is going, looking at the CS, yeah, Geek Fam might not be doing amazingly well, but they haven't been shut down.
No,
but I gotta say, props to Team X. So they've been super aggressive. They have been abusing their heroes' skills and abilities to try and win them the lanes. And I have to say, well, I mean, Luck is on his way to getting his items. Can they kill Tiny? He's got no mana.
Little spike and the hex onto Mercury, but Brian will come in with the snowball. Luck can easily just blink away to safety, but can't say the same for Nuts. He actually uses the spell shield, and now he will blink away to safety.
Yeah, gotta be a little bit careful there.
We just took our attention off of bot lane for a while, and suddenly Luck is leading by like 20 last hits.
Here comes Fixers though. Fixers
trying to find someone as Brian would take that power shot. Team X, how would they play this? They can go for the collapse if they play slow. The Fate Bolt and Snowball will come back. Our Fixers will be the one to lead the charge. They have the Wind Ranger if they need it. Again, the power shot does miss, but Slide of Fist won't, as the Snowball will be channeled. Brian trying to buy some time. TP coming in from the rest of Geek Fam. That's the Plasma Field, and Luck has to blink away. However, you cannot say the same for Brian as he dies to Fixers. Luck, though, might not be that lucky as KYXY gets tossed in. HusKKiee doesn't even bother joining the fight, as Luck will actually blink and TP to safety, as the Alchemist will do the same.
He's actually going to take the runes.
Okay.
He TP'd for the runes.
Yeah, Team S did get three bounties, so HusKKiee salvaging the last one.
I was actually expecting him to maybe try and help out with the anti-mage kill, but
he was
no, I think it's because they knew that the blink would have been off cooldown for anti-mage, so bounty runes, not too bad. Although I will say that was definitely a little bit of a mess in that bottom lane. But luckily for Geek Fam, the tower didn't go down. It was mostly just a skirmish under the tower, and then everything is done and dusted. They didn't really gain any map control out of this for Team X.
I believe Team X didn't lose anyone. They even got a kill, even though it's just on the Tusker, which isn't that big of a deal. But they did force out the TP from KRXY, and that basically allowed 2D to have the lane to himself, and he just got the Midas at 11 minutes.
Okay, so mind you, we are looking at 11 minutes into the game. Now, usually, if you're running an Alchemist, you should have a little bit of a gold lead. It's more than 1k, although you would have expected a bit more at this point of time. So I think if you're Geek Fam, you're going to have to tell Alchemist, hey, can you just like speed it up a little bit, just farm your gold a lot faster, because Tiny's been struggling. KYXY hasn't struggled, which is a good thing. But I'm just worried, can KYXY sort of push this through for the team? Because you have to be very careful. Razor by himself can't really do anything. It really depends on his team, the setup for him, and how they sort of execute him. And I think he's just going to get executed here.
Fixes.
That may have just killed him.
Great dodge away from the static link. The Earth Spike is perfect. Fixes. Gets the easy kill on the KYXY as well.
Yeah, that was unfortunate shots. I think what they wanted to do is sort of catch KYXY, so he has like a safety little barrier to walk back to the tower, but yeah, that's...
And I love what Fixes did. He saw the static link, he immediately fired Remnant away. He came back in, and the shockwave from 2D just clipped KYXY on the edge of it. And finally, HusKKiee got that radius at around 12 minutes, which is the expected timing, but the effective... I would say the effective goal for Alchemist is way, way more than just 8k. You have to have at least 9k to be properly effective, 9 to 10,000, which I wouldn't say HusKKiee slowed down. He's still consistent in getting the goal rolling, just that the rest of the lanes aren't doing that well, and HusKKiee, he has extra weight that he has to carry.
Yeah, but even though the other lanes didn't do so well, I think now it comes down to Team X and how they deal with the Alchemist now. Oh, this is going to be a very big kill.
Shackle shot onto Mercury, which will turn back with the Avalanche. Great TP in from Shanks would force Team X away.
All right, so even though I want to say a lot of Geek Fam's lineup has been not shut down, it's been slowed down, doesn't matter though.
That doesn't matter.
Because the Alchemist is farming, Radiance is done, he's going to farm a lot faster now, and his items are going to start popping out. Now, the difference between Alchemist and an anti-mage is that whatever items Alchemist is going to buy now is going to effectively improve his combat ability, whereas anti-mage is still farming. He's not going to join the fight for another 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So this is a big opening for Geek Fam to utilize that Alchemist once he's actually picked up some of these items. Now, for Team X, you want to slow this down. You've crippled the team. You've got to start working on the Alchemist. You've either got to take map control away, you've got to make them feel unsafe. They're going for Tiny, which, if they get the Tiny kill, it's fine, but the Alchemist is still farming. No towers have been taken, which is very bad.
They're not even going to get the kill as well, as Brian comes in at the right time. And I like what KRXY is going. He's trying to go for the ATOS, which would allow them to lock Ember in place, lock AM in place if they catch them off with their mobility skills off cooldown. The same goes for Magnus as well. You can ATOS the Magnus and Geek Fam can suddenly just jump on that hero and kill him off. Those single target pickoffs that Geek Fam is looking for. And I feel Team X effectively slowing down a bit. Shanks does steal away the blink, but it's still it's off cooldown.
Yeah, he's got it. He's fine. They got to start taking some of these towers down. With all these towers up, this is free farming space for the Alchemist.
Yeah.
It's going to get faster and faster at this point, although... Smoke?
Team X have the
Blink
deep
on
wards.
the Tiny. Even though he's at a really bad lane.
Yeah, and
oh.
Yeah, there's a kill onto the Lion. It does break the smoke from Geek Fam. It's just a Lion, so it's not too serious. Team X has a deep ward on the top jungle. They do see a Lackery, but they're actually not doing anything to respond to that.
They can't.
Yeah, they can't. Boundary is coming up. As you can see, Team X now, they will find Brian. And Brian most likely going to go down. The ice shot actually a bit unfortunate right there as the Avalanche comes in. Mercury steals away that bounty rune, but Brian will give up his life in return. As now, Fixers will find two with that searing chains. Lux going to blink right in, but KRXY has the Out of Storm. Great skill. RP committed onto one. The RP is actually stolen by Shanks. However, Fixers will still get the kill on the Mercury. Shanks does not have the mana to counter RP. He'll save it for the next fight. You can't say the same for KRXY though. He might not be able to survive this. However, Team X does decide to call it off. They get 2 kills in return.
Now while that's all happening, Alchemist is still farming. They got to grab a tower off of this. They got to grab another tower off of this. They've gotten the bottom tier 1 tower, which is great. You've got to continue to take this map control away from the Alchemist because look how comfortably he's farming. He's seeing all these heroes from Team X. Team X is doing their classic group up play.
Yeah.
You don't want to group up if the enemy is confident with their carry. Now, they got to be careful here because if you mess this up, oh boy.
Hey, Finger of Death coming in as
RP!
well. Red Pole with the stolen RP. Might be able to turn this around. And Geek Fams will start to find the kills in. They get 1 and they get 2. It's now finding for the third one as Fixers will use that Fire Ram to get away. But Mercury is not done yet. It's going to create that landslide onto the Wind Ranger as Insidious tries to turn around, gets slowed down by the Plasma Field as KYXY will whip him into shape as he grabs that double kill. With Geek Fam, they turn the tables on Team X.
Oh, that is not what you were looking for. It seems to me they just did not expect the Rubik RP. I don't think they realized he stole the RP.
Yeah, I honestly don't think they knew the Rubik stole the RP. Nuts will now run into a gang squad as Fixers comes in to save him, but it's not going to work out. The stolen Hex as well. Now even the Flame Guard is stolen. Mercury will send him up for a ride. KYXY becomes the 4th member to join the fight. Lux comes in for the pickup and suddenly Alacrity is here with the concoction. Reflects it back onto 3 members of Geek Fam. And he will save the fight for his team. Great move from the anti-mage.
All of a sudden, the retaliation coming out from Geek Fam because the Alchemist, he's ready to fight now. He's not just for show anymore. Even though anti-mage has been fighting for Team X as well, Team X needed to take more map control than this by this point of time. 17 minutes in, Alchemist is at 14k. He's doubled the anti-mage in terms of net worth, and it's only going to get worse from here on out unless they deal with this. And the moment you slow down momentum, when you're the ones applying pressure against an Alchemist, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and now Alchemist will be the one starting to take the map control back against -7-second unstable concoction cooldown. He's going to start throwing those long-range stuns. And by this time, Team X should have at least taken the mid tower, because that is the most important tower that gives Alacrity access to the jungle. And they're going to try again. They have failed once, but they're not afraid to do it for the second time. But I would prefer if 2D waits for that Blink Dagger. He actually needs it to be more effective, because right now, they are not able to do any damage to Geek Fam. Alchemist can run in, there's the Blink Dagger from the Tiny as well, Snowball to engage. There's so many tools that Geek Fam can use to turn a fight against Team X around.
Alright, so Ian Vizarun, oh, gonna try and prevent them from taking down that sentry.
Those pokes are actually really nasty from Team X. However, it's actually it's just not enough to do with Geek Fam, and you can see Alacrity just gonna start running out the anti-mage. They cannot meet in the same lane.
Yeah, that's the difference between anti-mage now and Alchemist now. And Alchemist, he's got a Blink Dagger as well, so he's now effectively an initiator for the team, plus a carry. Whereas you look at what the Dire have. They don't have
is so far away from being effective.
Oh, he's been caught. Little old poor Lion.
You're gonna find Lion is not free food for Geek Fam. There's nothing a Lion can do. It's effectively this hero that provides the crowd control, finger of death someone and just dies. You can't really do much in the fight. Alchemist even has the boost of travel at this point, so he technically has 4 core items completed at 19 minutes. That's almost an 18k net worth. I would say, yeah, still double the anti-mages, which is, for an Alchemist, is pretty common.
Yeah, this is the outcome of what really happens when you're losing momentum against an Alchemist, because the fights just get more and more difficult. Although, 2D's picked up a Blink Dagger. Now, this is an item that could change the flow of the game. If anything, you'd want to utilize this when it hasn't been spotted, and I think the smoke play, if they can grab a big kill, firstly, not use it on an illusion, but if they can actually trigger a team fight, which could possibly happen with the number of heroes in that bottom lane, they might be able to pull some of the momentum back.
Yeah, and the best case scenario for them is just catching out the Alchemist. If you kill off the Alchemist even once,
I'd say even 3 heroes.
Yeah.
Catch out 3 heroes, force a push, take the mid lane, take a tower, take some map control away.
Yeah, you really need to stop the Alchemist. He's going for an Octarine core, which will give him a lot of survivability, but it seems like they have found the Tusker and they'll effectively just slaughter him. 2D will be picking up the kill, and great target for the goal to flow into.
Now there's a chance the Blink Dagger could have been spotted there. I'm not 100% sure if they've known this. They're going to re-smoke again. Now Geek Fam.
They're going for the middle lane, and this is where the Mercury and Shanks are. They're going to find Mercury again. Finger will be committed. Great avalanche onto 4 people, but not enough. And that should open up the middle lane for Team X. But Fixer's trying to catch out that Rubik. Even though with the Haste Rune, he's not going to get in range. However, that opens out the middle lane tower for Team X. And that is what they've been trying to accomplish for more than 5 minutes. And there's a Manta committed as well. Shockwave is going to pull KYXY back. And Insidious locks him down with that power shot. Great snowball to cancel out the Shackle shot. But Lung with the spells, Spell Shield is going to trade that snowball back. Alacrity joins the fight. Insidious gets a double kill. And he will escape from that alive. That is Shanks. Almost catches out one member from Team X. Not going to find telekinesis on cooldown anyways. And Team X, they will get the lead on that fight.
They did force a TP back onto Alacrity as well, so they didn't really lose any of their towers in that top lane. If that fight was under control by Geek Fam, that could have actually caused a lot more damage to Team X, because Alchemist was free to farm in that top lane. Gotta say though, the group up five-man maneuver coming out from Team X, that seems to be their ticket to winning this game.
Yeah.
They're going to try and force this fight 5-on-5, and obviously Geek Fam doesn't want that, because you group up. If you, any chance that they possibly get a 2 to 3 man RP, if that doesn't get stolen, that's going to be a lot of bad news. And Ember Spirit getting caught out.
They find the Ember. That's very unfortunate for Fixers. And now they're going to try and find more, as Insidious trying to run away.
Lion also getting eaten up as well.
Yeah. And that's what Geek Fam excels at. They will just run at you. And there's nothing that Team X can do. Team X...
I mean, you saw just now Team X separated after that fight in the middle lane, right? They came back, they separated, and then they got picked off.
And they got picked off.
And you don't want that, because Geek Fam they already acknowledge the style of play from Team X. They know that they're gonna go. They want to fight together, and if they fight together, that's a very, very dangerous situation to put your team in. So they say, all right, guys, let's punish them when they go back. And this is sort of how they want to do this. Roche fight, an ideal place to fight, but they don't want to use the buyback on the Ember Spirit. I think they're anticipating a push from Geek Fam at some point, so they're trying to save that buyback to try and reset the fight.
Vixus actually TPing in, but Mercury's going to find them first. The double toss in the plasma field, great stun, I believe, onto at least 2 members from Geek Fam. However, they will lose the Magnus without him using the RP, as HusKKiee will not be able to throw that concoction, and he will stun himself instead. Vixus TPing in just a bit late as at the same time that Roshan went down, and Geek Fam were ready. I believe that Team X did not know that there was an observer ward on top of that of the stairs, which just gave Geek Fam perfect vision, and it allowed them to just engage. There's one on the cliff there as well, so it's impossible for Team X to get the jump onto Geek Fam as Shanks comes in with the telekinesis. Concoction is used as well, but a great spell shield will reflect that back once more. But Nuts will now be put in danger as Lux tries to help out his team. Power shot will come through, HusKKiee runs out of mana, and Luck will run away as well.
It's a bit of a scary situation here with the Alk and
yeah, here's the Octarine Corey at 23 minutes.
Yep, things are going to get a whole lot worse here. Although, I'm just looking at the Alchemist here. His time is probably going to run out once he's picked up that one final item.
I believe
so they're going to have to try and end this game ASAP once they've 6-slotted HusKKiee here, because you're up against an anti-mage. Now, anti-mage, one of the best split pushers in the entire game. And obviously for Geek Fam, the only one that can stop him really is HusKKiee. I mean, they could try using KYXY, but all anti-mage has to do is just blink away, blink back on top of him. KYXY can't do anything.
Yeah.
Razor is effectively useless unless he's got someone there to keep the anti-mage down.
Yeah, and if Luck gets the spell shield off perfectly, the styling becomes useless as well. So you are not stealing damage. You're basically trading damage back, which Luck will be really happy with, and split push already commencing as Luck has to get called out by Mercury as well, but great spell shield again. Mercury will toss himself instead. But I believe Shanks has the Blink Dagger. Yes, he does. So he will be a key for Geek Fam to catch out the Ember, to catch out the Magnus and the AM. Lotus Orb now being completed by HusKKiee, as he will start to feed his teammates with the axe at this point. He'll start throwing out that concoction, blinks forward, tries to find Insidious, and he's definitely going to need to do so. That -7 seconds is just too much for the Wind Ranger to deal with. He will hit the deck for 40 seconds.
Yeah, this is when Geek Fam are going to reign supreme on the map with 11k net worth over Team X right now. Team X are desperately trying to get their carries into late game status. Ember Spirit and Anti-Mage are both going to be a nightmare to deal with, because late game, they can independently go out into the lanes comfortably, because both of them have escape mechanisms. They're very elusive. And you look at Geek Fam's lineup, their disables, not really the best. You got a lot of projectile disables. You have unreliable disables. Rubik is your main source of disable here. It's instant cast point.
Yeah.
Aside from that, everything else has some sort of cast point. And that's enough time for both Ember and Anti-Mage to react.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about the Ember at this point, because he just picked out the U-Scepter, and that is really effective to dodge out the skill, as the concoction will fly through. HusKKiee will have that concoction bounce back onto him, as he'll start to lose all his mana. So Geek Fam is going to try to continue the chase, as Shanks will be the one to lift up Nuts, and Nuts will be sacrificed once more, but that's the target that...
Lux picked up a Skadi.
What?
Anti-Mage just picked up a Skadi.
Oh, I actually love that item. Like, Geek Fam will start having problems with the Anti-Mage at this point, because his counter spell has been on point. And now you give him all these raw stats and Empower. If Team X finds that fight, if they burn out all the mana from inside Geek Fam can't even fight. Luck just needs to get something like a Butterfly or even Abyssal, especially the Abyssal Blade, which destroys the HusKKiee.
Yeah, he needs damage. Now, he still needs to be a little bit wary of KYXY, because if he does end up getting stunned and hit with the static link, Anti-Mage doesn't have a lot of damage. If that gets stolen, he doesn't become useless, but he's not as effective as he would like to be. And I do like that they're going to try and fall back to split push here with the high ground push. Luck's going to have to push fast, because this tower's not going to stand for very long.
However, there's a lot of damage coming in from Team X as well, as they're going to skewer HusKKiee back. However, HusKKiee has a Chemical Rage. Will have his mana drained by Nuts, as he gets hexed out as well. The Empowered from Fixers not doing too much damage. Geek Fam just wants that high ground tower, and they will get it.
Mind you, there's also an Aegis on the Alchemist, so even if they kill him, he's got a second life. That's why they're being so careful.
Luck didn't even take out the tier 2 in the bottom lane, so that is a big miss for Team X.
I mean, they sort of forced the TP back because you saw how aggressively Geek Fam positioned themselves up on that high ground.
Oh, and now the blink has been stolen. That's double blink for the Rubik as well. And Geek Fam still staying around that high ground. They're going to take the shrine away from Team X.
Just more map control.
Yeah. Aether Lens as well for Shanks. However, Team X still has a great fighting chance. The Ember is starting to come online.
They got to go late game at this point. They can't fight them now. It's make or break it. They got to go end game status. Now, unfortunately, I gotta say, Ember, he is looking a little bit light. I was hoping Fixers would get a little bit more than this.
He might die though. A tossed up.
He's got
Oh, okay. Brian was rooted up. But Team X, they are really good at pushing. They have multiple heroes that are great at pushing compared to Geek Fam, who only has Alacrity. KYXY does not have the X, and I don't think he will go for the X anytime soon. They do scan out Nuts as Mercury goes right in alongside Alacrity, but the great use will save the Ember for now. Fixers manages to remnant away to safety as Concoction will land only onto Luck, which I believe reflects it back again. Team X, they will walk away with no tower for, I believe, the 3rd time in this game.
This is going to turn into a bit of a stalemate here if no one really makes the move. But I think Team X, they're making the correct play here, trying to draw the game out as long as possible. They're playing aggressive, forcing Geek Fam back onto their side of the map so that Team X, they go back to their side and they say, all right, guys, let's go back to farming. Let's get this Anti-Mage and that Emperor Spirit, all the items that they need.
Yeah, and now Alacrity has fed KYXY with the Axe, which effectively solves the pushing problem. Eye of the Storm now will target buildings. It's going to hurt even more shorter intervals as well.
But they still need to utilize this Aghanim's early because even though they have this, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make them win the fights. Because if you want to push high ground, you got to fight into Team X first.
And I believe the next X is definitely going to be onto Shanks, which gives him that reduced cooldown, but he's going to run into Luck. But RP is going to be committed only onto one though. However, Luck's now going to work with the Empower. You can see the Mana Void as well. Going to kill off the Rubik straight away as Mercury gets caught out. He's going to go invisible with the Shadow Blade. Luck trying to blink out of that. He's going to come back in as the Concoction is thrown as well. Brian caught in a tough spot. Alacrity will wail onto the Magnus and take him down. Nuts is killed off as well. Fixers gets tossed back by Mercury, but Fixers still not done yet with the Fire Remnants. Going to come right back. Mercury already blinked away at this point. Now Alacrity looking for the Ember Spirit is not going to find a Concoction. And T-Max, they do walk away with the Rubik kill, and it seems like KYXY is caught out by Luck as well. However, he has the ATOS and is going to turn back with the Static Link. Luck will be forced to disengage. TP coming in from Alacrity, trying to find an AM, but AM is just too slippery to be caught.
That could have gone horribly for either side depending on how that turned out. But luckily for Team X, they only managed to lose the I think it was Magnus and Lion. I gotta say, the combination on the high ground, little bit slow reaction coming up from Anti-Mage. I think he wasn't expecting that at all. He should not have been lifted there at all.
Yeah.
But his team came in and effectively locked down both Rubik and Tiny. The RP coming in after the RP duration, also the double stun coming in from the Lion, really trying to buy some time, protecting their cause, because if that didn't happen, I actually think they would have lost luck there on the Anti-Mage.
I believe that, it's not that I believe it, at this point, Nuts and the Magnus are just CC bots. You throw as much crowd control as you can, you die, and then you let your cause do the work. Slug's gonna link in, force the BKB out from KYXY, and that's a huge item. It's gonna skewer Alacrity back, I believe, and you're gonna find Alacrity as they're going to lose Fixers though. Mercury will kill him off. Alacrity now trying to survive the Mana Void will make sure he goes down. They do lose the first set of Rex, but there's a Shackle Shot onto Brian, and Brian will be cut down by Luck as well. KYXY hexed up, and the lightning is not enough as he will be slain. Insidious actually is the one to get the double kill. However, they had to buy back on the Ember. Nonetheless, T-Max, they get the better end of that fight.
They got the Rex. But
they lose the Rex.
Yeah, it seemed like to me that for Geek Fam, they just decided, guys, we got to fully commit to this Rex, because the longer this game goes, the harder it is going to be. Yeah, and I mean, there's a light at the end of the tunnel here for Team X. They're trying to see this, and they're hoping this is an opening for them to try and push mid. It could be because there's no KYXY.
Yeah, and
they
you
have
can
RP as
kind
well.
of see the effect of Team X at this point. They do lose that Rex, which is a minor win for Geek Fam. However, you can see the amount of commitment Geek Fam had to put into that Rex. They were losing their cores. Then KYXY had to just literally destroyed the racks before doing anything else. He gave up his life as well. They do force the buyback from the Ember, which isn't the biggest buyback at this point. Ember is going to go for the Aeon this next, so...
I mean, he's going to pick up the Aegis now, so he's got another life again.
It's going to be hard to kill, does consistent damage, slippery kind of core that doesn't mind about dying because he's going to waste a lot of time. And Team X, they'll start to turn the momentum around, but Alacrity will be back up in 5 seconds, so that should ease Team X's aggression for a bit.
I'm just worried here that Team X are feeling hard pressed to try and fight and finish the game now because of what happened in that middle lane. I mean, of course you've got to be concerned about how the game is playing out, but I think they still need to be a little bit patient. You can't just rush into Geek Fam.
Yeah, Fixers caught right out. It's not going to go down though. Use himself and Glimmer K to keep him safe. So Team X still managing to get away. Luck is not going to mind taking that camp as well.
Alright, good stuff. Not going to lose their nerves there.
Yeah.
Got to play very patiently if you're Team X. One mistake and I think that's all it. That's all done. Even though you have the Aegis, you're still going up against a bit of a monstrosity. Although I think the gold is sort of stagnated here for Geek Fam. So I think if you're Geek Fam as well, you've also got your own problems, which is your heroes are not going to progress beyond this point outside of an Ags from your Alchemist.
Yeah,
everyone else has to farm by themselves. And I mean, Tiny, he's had the short end of the stick for the majority of the game. He's had to fall back to this sort of initiator, enabler for the team, which has done a great job, but he now needs gold to start transitioning. KYXY, he's a Razor.
Yeah, and you have no one to actually just shut Luck down when he gets that butterfly. Alacrity is not going MKB. KYXY is certainly not going MKB. They're just relying on all those bursts, crowd control to take down Luck, but I don't think they can hold on for
I mean,
longer,
I would say like the only counter they have to Luck right now is KYXY.
Yeah.
If he latches onto him, they steal the damage, then sure, that's kind of their way of slowing down the progress of the anti-mage. But yeah, that's very true. No MKB, no way to really cut through that evasion on the anti-mage. He's also going to do a lot of raw physical damage himself.
They have to be grateful that anti-mage does not have the Abyss, so because if he does, Geek Fam would find it even harder to win a fight. Like if the middle lane fight happened with the high ground tower, Geek Fam wouldn't have gotten anything at all. But they do force the TP back from Fixers, which can easily come back in. Luck will dodge that avalanche and the power shot. You can see the damage being dealt as Shanks goes right in with the telekinesis, the eye shot used as well, but you're not blocking out anti-mage with a blink. Geek Fam might try to look for a fight, but I don't think, they're going to call it off.
I gotta say, that was a very smart play coming out from Team X, just sort of forcing everyone in Geek Fam to back up, because you saw Geek Fam, they were actually trying to converge onto Team X's base to try and push things forward.
And I believe they might find Mercury though.
Can they?
The Mercury, is it being called out? He's used right out. Goes invisible, but do they have the vision? KOX comes in with the BKB, will latch onto Luck, who will blink away straight as they lose Lion.
Oh, 2D. 2D's hiding. He's going to try and go for
waiting
RP.
for that magical RP. Luck to jump right in. Fixes with immense damage. Prime with the snowball not being able to save the man. But there's the RP onto 4. And the slaughtering will now commence as Luck, alongside Fixers, will start cutting down Geek Fam. They force 2 buyback. Might even get a 3rd as Fixers goes down, but he has the Aegis and he will come back to life. Alchemist gets stunned by his own concoction as the Windrunner is ready in Insidious. Looking for the Shackle shot. The Mana Void will shut down that Alchemist as the 3rd buyback will be forced out. But Luck is not done yet. Has the counter spell. Gets used. There's 2D blinking in, but there is an avalanche onto 2 as Lux comes right out, but too much damage from Team X. Alacrity back to the fight with the concoction, trying to take down anyone from Team X, but that reflection again is going to keep Alacrity in place. They lose the Magnus, they might lose the Ember as well. 110 seconds on the clock, but Team X, they took so much away from Geek Fam in that fight.
That was the RP 2D was looking for.
Yeah.
4-man RP catches everyone on Geek Fam. And obviously that's when your cores are going to go completely ham. That was beautiful play, forcing out all the buybacks onto Geek Fam. Now, you got to consider this. Even though they had a very successful fight there, Ember is gone. There's no buyback on Fixers. There's no RP as well. He can buy back on Magnus, but that's the majority of your team fight control gone. This is an opening for Geek Fam to go forward. Yeah. They can continue to push on now. If they know that Fixtures has no buyback, this is a lot of trouble. And I think they're going to try and see if there is buyback, because once they smell it, they're going to go high ground. They're going to try and end the game.
Yeah, I believe they know that Fixtures has no buyback. They even forced the buyback from Magnus which RP is still 40 seconds away. Luck's gonna try to do as much as he can. He walks right in. He's gonna get stunned up immediately. KYXY as well with the Eye of the Storm will be a deterrent for the anti-mage.
They're very lucky that the creeps are not at Team X's base. I think for now, Team X are very, very happy that they're going to be able to save the majority of their towers. But this, like, the result of them, Geek Fam, being able to do this, I think Team X have to acknowledge that, guys, we've got to still be careful in these fights. If we lose fixers or luck in the fights at all, we've got no defense. We've got no way to defend ourselves. We need both of our cores plus all of our backline supports to make this happen, because that's their lineup. Their lineup is team fight. Yeah. Geek Fam, they want to try and fight for as long as possible to steal damage, to throw consistent CS, to steal spells as well. You can't even underestimate the Rubik. Rubik's played a massive role in this game as well. I mean, if Rubik wasn't in that RP, I think that fight would have gone completely differently.
Yeah, I honestly think that 2D was the man of that fight. He enabled the whole fight to happen, and because of the buyback, he cannot commit to a Greaves, to the Guardian Greaves.
Not just that though. I mean, the next fight, if he gets caught before he throws an RP, that's going to be a disaster in itself.
But 2D doing well so far, and also the saving grace for Team X is that they took Roshan before that, so there's no objectives for Geek Fam to go for other than trying to go for the Rex, which they failed as well. Mercury will break that smoke, which is a big blunder for Team X, but Nuts will lose his life as Luck goes right in with the Manta, trying to take down Mercury, which has no mana at this point. 2D is going to miss that shockwave as the Atos will keep Luck in place. So Mercury
is he going to commit?
The save as Luck commits, but there is the counter spell. Not enough to stop the snowball. BKB committed by KXY as well, but Luck will blink away. That BKB will be wasted immediately. Fixers will now lock him out, and Luck's going to go for the re-engage. Shockwave will pull KYXY back, and the Mana Void also used as well. Insidious will go on a killing spree, and suddenly Brian is caught out. Fixers going to go up front for more ahead of Luck. He's going to use up Shanks. Shanks is now rooted. Shanks is now down. No buyback for the Tusk. No buyback for the Rubik. And they might even look for more. They won't. But Team X, they get 3 members from Geek Fam.
That's a pretty big engagement. It's both supports down. I have to say, even though it's just a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's just supports. They're not just supports this game. These are actually key heroes in Geek Fam's lineup. And obviously Team X, they're going to see if they can continue on, take their own Raxas, because they haven't got their own Raxas. It will equalize the mid lane. And this actually puts pressure on Geek Fam, because Geek Fam are hoping that they win that one fight. They push a lane of Rax. They win a fight, they push a lane of Rax. Whereas for Team X, if they can push a lane here, they can end the game. That is how scary it is.
KYXY will have to buy back. Still almost 20 seconds for Tuska and 45 seconds for the Rubik as Mercury gets used right up as Luck already going to work on the bottom lane. They're going to ignore the middle lane Rex for now. The high ground tower is more important. The Atos not going to do anything. Searing Chains. It's going to root out KYXY and Mercury. Alacrity back to the base as well. Can't even go for a push.
They're scared.
Let's get up 2D. Forced out. BKB wasted as well. KYXY really on the ropes at this point. Backdrop protection is not going to keep the Rex alive. Styling also ineffective. The Avalanche will be used as well as Alacrity is a blink right in. He's going to start the fight. I believe he has an Orchid. Silences out the Magnus, but it doesn't matter. Brian rolls right in with a snowball trying to get the Magnus now, but Insidious staying back. Greaves is used as well. Luck gets away. They will lose 2D in the process. But they do get 2 individual racks as well as 2 high ground towers.
Okay, I'm actually going to say this is a very big deal, because that's 100 seconds and no 2D. He's got no buyback. Yeah. And I actually think Geek Fam knows this as well, because
they can do this. Right.
Now, because this is down, the biggest deal here is that is a lot of team fight control not available for Team X. And look at Geek Fam. They're saying, guys, that's their initiator gone. We're going to go now. Yeah, we're going to try and end it.
They can either go for that or go for Roshan, because Roshan is up. And if
do you want to go for Roshan though? Look at where anti-mage is. Luck is pushing top lane. Yeah. He's trying to force them back. All the creeps are in the advantage points for Team X. All the creeps.
I think the biggest win for that was that the Bloodthorn. Alacrity silenced up 2D, was unable to do anything until it was too late. But Dire with a great scan will know where Geek Fam is. They don't even want to contest. They say, hey, if Geek Fam is doing Roshan, we'll just go for the push. There's only 50 seconds until 2D comes back up. He will have buyback in 3 minutes, so that should be ready for the next fight if they drag it out long enough. And sure it is, Team X will start dragging out with those split push. They're going to force Alacrity to TP back, and that effectively starts the entire push from Geek Fam.
I mean, this is good for Team X. Yeah. Game goes later and later. Their heroes get fatter and fatter, and I think for Geek Fam, they're just stalling They're stalling. I mean, they denied the Aegis and the cheese from Team X, but how much longer can they hold on? I mean, they've won a couple fights, but it's because they've made the right plays, they've killed the right heroes. Next fight, what if you don't kill the right hero? Then what?
Oh yeah, I think
Because we already saw they lose one fight, they lost two lanes, two lanes.
Two lanes.
Right? One fight is where everything can end here for Geek Fam if they make one wrong move.
Yeah, and you can see the goal gap is closing in between Alacrity and Luck. At this point, it doesn't matter for Alacrity anymore. He has hit his cap. All he can do is now try to itemize and try to shut down a Team Max, which where the Blood Taunt comes into effect. I believe he sold the Lotus Orb.
Oh, the gold difference.
Because the Lotus Orb, Lotus Orb is now picked up by the Rubik instead. So Rubik will be the one applying that Lotus Orb as Alacrity transitions into that carry that
Look how little the gold difference is between both teams. This is not where you want to be as an Alk.
It was 10k.
Like, it was 10k just a minute ago, I swear.
So now, they're just waiting. Luck is just waiting to get that abyssal. And once he does, if he catches onto either one of Geek Fam's hero, they're dead. He has BKB as well. And
Refresher on a Razor.
Yeah, Geek Fam is waiting for that triple Eye of the Storm.
Now, I actually want to know how much damage this is going to do.
If KYXY gets into the base, he would destroy all the structures.
I mean, he would just destroy Anti-Mage. Like, Anti-Mage wouldn't want to stand anywhere near him because he'll be hit with 3 bolts of lightning. Oh.
Yeah, he's still pushing, but I feel, Team Max, they are ready for a fight because they have the high ground advantage and there's no wards from Geek Fam. They can easily just find someone. That Observer was perfect. Now they know where Brian is.
Oh, they found Tiny.
As KYXY can come right in and try to queue off Nuts, but they already lost Tiny. There's 90 seconds on the clock. KYXY runs right in. They're going to refresh as well, but that refresher not going to do enough. KYXY now going to use that BKB. Greaves is used as well. Now they lose the Tusker at the same time. Mana Void committed. That is the Aegis gone. KYXY will be revived into the hands of Team X. He has no refresher off. He'll use that refresher shot and try to queue off Nuts. Nuts is still alive, but he uses the Glimmer and to get away. There's no vision from Geek Fam. And now they will converge onto KYXY and is killed instantly.
Oh, that is...
Geek Fam loses everything in that fight.
That was such a mess. What was the objective there for Geek Fam? They were going in with no vision. All the vision was on the side of Team X. They basically walked into a trap. They lost hero after hero after hero. And it seemed like Geek Fam, they were sort of trickling in to try and help. Yeah. But if you're losing all your heroes against a team that is amazing 5v5, you're already in a lot of trouble. Yeah. They're forcing out the buyback, but who cares? There's no Aegis. Alacrity's by himself. Yeah, sure, there's Tiny, but there's no KYXY. There's nothing to fear here for Luck.
There's
although
no refresher as well. Now
the
been
caught out a little bit.
Onto Luck. He has the basher, so he's gonna bash out Alacrity and like get chain stun, and he will explode. Instant buyback. They had to remember Luck has the DD rune, and the DD rune is doing so much damage. Again, the bash onto Mercury, and Mercury will be turned into liquid. Finally pops the cheese, but a little bit of dairy isn't enough to save him, and he will go down as well. That's 2 minutes in the grave. Team X looking to close this out, and it's 2 members from Geek Fam trying to save the entire game. It's going to be Alacrity and Shanks. Alacrity has to work that magic. Ultimate will be back, but it's going to be Megas for Team X at this point.
Oh, what an absolute mess. And all of this happened because of that top lane with no vision, trying to push the lanes. There's a little kill there for Alacrity, but I mean, how much time can he buy?
The
Look,
base
there's
is
towers.
in shambles. He's going to buy back instantly for the Lion. Alacrity force the TP back into base, looking for that surprise again, but Bloodthorn is still on cooldown. He is invisible. There's a lift out onto Luck. Alacrity going to work with the Bloodthorn. He's going to bash Fixers down, but Fixers going to use himself out. Now Alacrity is caught. He's stunned up as well. Shanks comes right in, but the Mana Void will catch him. And this should be game 1 as the throne is exposed and the GG is called. T-Max, another upset onto Geek Fam, and they will take 3 points for themselves.
Oh my goodness. Team X able to draw the game out onto maximum capacity on both of their carries, Empress Spirit and Anti-Mage. These guys just started wrecking face. These guys are so fat. And unfortunately, I mean, Alk strat, it's not a bad strat. Alk is not a bad strat, but they missed their timing window. They needed to hit it a lot sooner, a lot harder, and it just, they couldn't finish the game because of this fantastic 5-man draft coming out from Team X.
And that's the explosiveness from Team X that we were talking about. You can see like Insidious, Nuts, and 2D. They were just playing this utility support. They weren't looking for a lot of ganks. They weren't looking for a lot of kills. They're just trying to enable Fixers and luck to come online, and they did it perfectly. And props to 2D for that insane RP, and of course that one single observer ward placed by I believe Nuts on the Lion on that high ground that just
Give them so much vision.
yeah, it just caught Geek Fam off guard, and from that point onwards, there's no way they could recover. They blew everything in that one single fight, and they couldn't even get the Lion in return.
That was, oh, that must be so devastating. If anything, if you're Geek Fam, you gotta be devastated after that match. You have to think, guys, we had it.
Yeah, they had it. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as the game against Legenda. The only difference is that they had the late game and they couldn't drag it to late game. This one, they had the mid game, but they couldn't hit the timing as well. So Geek Fam now, in a bit, I would say.
I mean, they'd be a bit worried.
I would be worried as well. But it seems like Team Max are on their way to take at least a tie for this series. We'll see how Game 2 pans out. But before that, we'll go on a short break and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESL Dota 2 Malaysia Singapore Championship Week 3 Day 1 between T-Max and Geek Fam, where T-Max just took over the late game and took 3 points off of Geek Fam. But we still have one game to go through before everything closes out. I'm HusKKiee and she is Danelie.
3 points are on the line now.
Yeah.
3 points have already been claimed by Team X. Can Geek Fam actually take back these 3 points? We were talking about this just before we went live, that last week Geek Fam tried to go late game, didn't quite work. They went mid game last week and they managed to take a first game. Now this week they tried to go mid game, didn't quite work. Is it the late game strat now?
Yeah, it could be reverse deja vu for Geek Fam, but I believe this feeling is all too familiar for them, especially for them when they tried a strat that worked last week but failed this week. So they might go for something different, or they might just decide to stick to their guns, because it wasn't a bad draft. It wasn't poor execution. It's just that the timing window was so little that the moment Geek Fam missed out, it was over. Like, I believe you said when they got that pick onto the Magnus, they should have pushed in, but instead they went for the Roshan. They tried to play it safe, and it all came down to just one observer ward that completely destroyed them.
Yeah, that top engagement was very interesting, why they wanted to go in blind.
Oh,
I was expecting maybe even going in smoking, then at least if you run into someone, then your team will be able to expect it. But, I mean, what's done is done. We can't really go back in time. The draft is ready. Game 2, is it going to fare a little bit better for Geek Fam? We'll have to see. Let's jump into the draft.
Yeah, and just the final recap on that high ground fight was that the Tusker got hexed, and Geek Fam still decided to run in. KYXY just led the charge, and it was total catastrophe for them. So they still have one game to turn this around, and next assassin will be led through. Team Max will pick it up immediately, and you can see Geek Fam, they ban out the Magnus. No more 2D RP. They don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, I don't think they just want to go for any of that big team fight AoE.
Because that really cost them the game at some point.
Yeah, I think also one unfortunate thing for Geek Fam was that they were struggling to get the RP steals on the Rubik as well. I think 2D.
This Ruby was dying. Either dying.
He was either being jumped on or he was in the RP.
Yeah, he was being jumped on in the RP.
But I mean, you got to say props to 2D for playing Magnus like that, being very patient, not just going in whenever he wants to, finding the correct targets, and even RPing when, for example, spell steals on cooldown.
Yeah.
So.
And he's not afraid to be the one who just to make something happen. You can see he aggressively blinked in and tried to skewer someone.
I mean, this is the whole like enabler thing we were talking about earlier, right? 2D is an enabler. He's not a player that plays the offlane like a semi-carry. He goes and enables things for his teammates. So the fixers, for luck, he helps the team. And I think you've got to acknowledge that if you're Geek Fam, and you need to play a little bit differently against 2D. You can't let him play like that. You need to sort of pressure him in those team fights so that he struggles to do what he does best.
Yeah, and you can see 2D, like, I think we repeated this like a couple of times. 2D, he doesn't really go for all these kills in the lane. You can see he just patiently farms up. He goes for the Midas, he goes for the Blink, he goes for the Greaves. He doesn't mind not having his own damage. His whole objective was just to keep his team alive, be the guy that causes disruption. He can give up his life. As long as the cores get the kill, then his job is done. Same goes to Nuts, same goes to Insidious. However, Insidious was kind of a pseudo core at one point.
He was like a X Factor. Like, he was support at the beginning, then he started picking up some items, and I actually don't know what Insidious was, to be honest. I mean, late game he can be a 3.5.
He wasn't really on the grid, but you cannot count him out because he's just, like you said, the X Factor. Suddenly a random shackle shot comes right out and you get caught and you're dead. So he's not really in Geek Fam's line of sight per se. Like, Geek Fam will focus on the core, they will focus on catching out. I think Nuts died a lot, but it didn't matter because they had the backup plan.
Let's see how things change for this matchup. Now, it looks like X are going to try and ban out hard carries because they're running the Troll Warlord themselves. I think this is our third Troll Warlord in the tournament. And I think they're going to go for this sort of semi-mid-game timing window with this lineup. Whereas for Geek Fam, they're going to probably start to transition off into something a little more late game because Nature's Prophet, we don't see Nature's Prophet very often, but when we do see him, I've seen a lot of support Nature Prophets. Occasionally we see offlane as well. I don't know where they want to throw him this time. I have a feeling this is a 2D Nature's Prophet, and late game, Nature's Prophet can be a real pain in the backside because nobody wants to buy a Quelling Blade.
Yeah, and he just split pushes all the way.
Split pushes, real pain in the backside, especially when he gets utility items. He hexes, he silences, force stuffs, maybe Glimmer Capes as well, depending on what's going on. And is against the Troll Warlord. Just buy a Ghost Scepter. Can't touch him.
And if Troll Warlord's out, you just sprout.
Yeah, because you can't
cannot
do
use
anything.
his item. He can't run at you. So you just effectively trap him in this ring of trees, which there's nothing that the troll can do. So they also ban out the Night Stalk. The Ember, understandable, but the Night Stalker is interesting because I like the idea behind that. Because when you sprout and the Night Stalker
Just flies
turns on
over.
night mode, you get unobstructed vision. He doesn't mind being sprouted. He gets everything. He can see you through the trees. Suddenly, teammates can start hitting you. So Geek Fam, they're gonna pick up the Juggernaut in response to that troll. They're gonna hit harder than the troll itself.
Lots of core pickups, actually. I think Geek Fam have picked up almost all of their cores, unless they maybe want to do support Tiny, support Nature's Prophet. I don't
I
know
don't
which
think
one they want to put on. Sorry, I don't know why I said 2D Nature's Prophet. Should I say KYXY? Excuse me.
Yeah.
KYXY does play Nature's Prophet offlane, by the way. But yeah, all cores already. Normally you would have wanted to hide some. I mean, pick some supports, but unless they're going to try and throw us a curveball and do some of these support Nature's Prophet Tiny shenanigans. Honestly, I don't know what's going on. I mean, support Tiny is definitely a possible combo. Gives you a free Blink Dagger, still has a stun, still has toss. I mean, he still does tiny things, just not going to be as strong as a core Tiny.
I'm looking at Nick's Assassin right now, and the amount of disruption he can cause to a Nature's Prophet. He can find the Tiny. If he catches the Avalanche with his Spike Carapace, suddenly Tiny is now stuck.
Not just that though, I think Winter Wyvern, great pickup against a Juggernaut. He can't just go for spin TPs anymore.
Yeah. If you Omni Slash, Cold Embrace, done. 0 damage dealt. And
now this doesn't necessarily mean Winter Wyvern's like a pure counter to Juggernaut, but she definitely supplements those team fights by making it difficult because, you know, looking at Team X's draft, you got Sables in their Nyx Assassin, which is great. Troll Warlord needs a lot of protection because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming after him, and I think Winter Wyvern really fills in the gaps in a support that's going to be able to sort of do everything instead of being tunneled into just being a stunner, just being a ganker. She does a little bit of everything, which is an amazing thing you can do with Wyvern.
And Troll doesn't really have to worry too much about a Juggernaut out if they're on the same level in terms of farm and item progression. When Jug Omni slashes you, can always go for the ultimate. Suddenly you're immune to death, and if the supports are around, you can always save the Troll Warlord. But this, obviously in very specific circumstances, now Geek Fam has the 4-pip. Assuming that Tiny is not going support, Nature's Prophet is going core, this should be a support pickup, but
it's a tie.
So it should be a Nature's Prophet support. Yeah.
Or a Tiny support.
Yeah, and Tide Hunter's gonna go off lane, that's for sure. That's going to it's gonna run into a Troll Warlord. That Anchor Smash will do wonders with that damage reduction.
Yeah, so I think Geek Fam, they're sort of still feeling the pain from last game with all that team fight, so they go for their own major team fight in the Tide Hunter. I'm still a little bit worried about lanes. Juggernaut, we don't know the matchup yet because Troll probably won't be going in the offlane role.
Yeah.
But Juggernaut typically does okay. Tide Hunter is pretty okay as well. I want to know who's the carry. Sorry, I want to know who's the mid. Who's going to be doing the mid matchup against the Troll?
We might even end up with Alacrity on the Tiny in the middle lane, and they're going to last beat the support.
It could be support. Yeah, it could still be the support Nature's Prophet.
Yeah.
Support Prophet with +1. But the Elder Titan, interesting choice. Elder Titan is typically picked up when you want to draft high agi heroes because he removes all that armor. But Juggernaut doesn't really build up that much armor. Tiny won't really be impacted because he's got very low natural armor as well.
I feel like,
is it for the team fight disengage maybe?
Yeah, I think it's for that to stop Geek Fam from disengaging, and I think Elder Titan, if they really want to commit to matching, to give Titan a hard time, they will put the Elder Titan there, with the Nature's Order, excuse me. But either way, even a Juggernaut, Elder Titan wouldn't be that worried. He has the Ancestral Spirit that can just beat Juggernaut down. So I like the Elder Titan pickup. I think it's the first one we've seen across all 3 weeks. Geek Fam will will close out the ban phase with a puck ban.
I will say though, for Elder Titan, back onto him before we go on to these final pickups, I like laning for an Elder Titan. If you underestimate the Elder Titan lane, he can actually grab kills.
Oh yeah.
Especially when he gets some of that damage that he can get from the spirit. So I think if you're Geek Fam, you need to respect the Elder Titan pick. Don't get caught out. Yes, he's going to be stealing damage, but just play around him. Elder Titan's not necessarily the most agile hero in the game. He's a little bit on the slower end of the spectrum. And assuming this is the Jug matchup, he shouldn't die if he plays smartly, because he has the regen to sustain.
Yeah, but the Elder Titan and Winter Wyvern changes how Geek Fam want to fight. Because if you fight right into the Elder Titan and the Winter Wyvern, they have so many tools to just shut you down. They can disengage, they can re-engage. Elder Titan with his Storm as well, it's one of the most effective way to set up a fight. You put people to sleep, you walk up to them. It's something like a Naga out, but except minus the invulnerability part. So it's really great. And if you fight right in front of Elder Titan, the reduction on your stats is also going to hurt you as well. And you have 3 melee heroes that really needs those stats, especially something like a Tide Hunter. Now he's less tanky, and he has to worry about being locked down by T-Max. Is not fun for Geek Fam if they fall behind.
I'm actually really hoping this is a mid-tiny, because they need a tempo controller for sure.
I think if they ban out the puck, it should be a mid-tiny.
I mean, Tiny doesn't struggle against mid-puck either.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, there's very few heroes that Tiny is going to struggle against him in the middle lane. TA gets banned out, and Team X going to pick up the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, I absolutely love this Queen of Pain.
Okay.
There's nothing from Geek Fam to stop her other than the Blink toss, the Blink Avalanche toss.
It depends on this last pickup, because I'm assuming this is going to be a last pick support. I don't know why. I'm hoping something's going to blow my mind here, something that we don't normally see. But yeah, you're very right with the Queen of Pain. They've got no normal catch. Your typical supports haven't really been touched this game. It's Kunkka? Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Tiny Nature?
Yeah.
Are you... Really?
I think...
Or is it support? I doubt it.
If they see the... I think after seeing the Queen of Pain, it's understandable you want to transition that Tiny to a support.
This is...
Because he's always ready to be flexed in case of a pick where he's not in favor of. And I think Geek Fam made the right choice. They blink the Alacrity, which is decent against Queen of Pain. You have lane control, you're tanky. X marks the spot, can always bring fixes back if you catch him out. So it's not entirely that bad for Geek Fam. However...
Very unorthodox, I'm going to say that.
Yeah, it's actually unorthodox.
Yeah, this is very new. So Tiny Nature's Prophet support duo. I mean, I'm not against it. Nature's Prophet can be very annoying, especially with the Treants. Winter Wyvern does not appreciate fighting Treants, neither does a Nyx Assassin, so he could be annoying. Oh man, I'm a little bit confused as to whether I should be excited, worried, or both. Maybe both.
I'm particularly excited, but you have to feel the Queen of Pain at the same time, post level 7. Where she is definitely going to have more impact rotating around.
Okay.
She has the...
You have a lot of faith in the Queen of Pain, right?
And I feel like Queen of Pain is this... She's not the best hero, but I feel like she is this hero that if you can hit that... The moment you get Sonic Wave, if you can get a few ganks around the map, you utilize it, like when it comes off cooldown, you get a kill, you get an assist, then she become more impactful as the game progresses.
Okay, because how I see this Queen of Pain... I think in a lot of games, if you had some squishier supports that you're going up against, I think Queen would be great. But look at how tanky Geek Fam's draft is.
Oh yeah.
Looking at their heroes, it looks to me that they want to go for these massive team fights. They've got tanky heroes. They can fight for as long as they want. Whereas you look at Team X, their heroes a little bit on the squishier end of the spectrum. I mean, they've got a couple of tanky heroes themselves, but I don't think they're going to be able to outlast all these heroes. I mean, Kunkka's really tanky, Tidehunter's tanky, Juggernaut gives all the team heals, Nature's Prophet. I mean, Nature's is the squishiest out of a lot of them. Tiny's tiny. He's got a lot of HP. I mean, the game is ready.
Yeah, we'll just see how he pans out. So.
I'm so confused, guys. Let's jump into the game. Let's do this.
Yeah. But I definitely agreed with the fact that Geek Fam, they have a super tanky lineup. And that is where Team X's lineup comes into play. You go for all those disengage, you stop the fight from going on consistently, you give yourself a window to recover. But outlasting Geek Fam is not impossible, just that you need to like put a stop in the middle. It's like you press the pause button, you say, guys, let's reset this and let's reposition ourselves with this with the Echo Storm and try to work something out. However, that
What?
I don't know.
What?
Was that Observer Ward?
He's blocked the camp.
Oh yeah.
He's blocked the camp.
I was slightly confused
It's okay.
for a moment.
No. Observer showed us the blocks. It's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So Nature's Prophet going for Treants at level 1. Okay, so he's going to go for some harassment. Now this is good because Wyvern's got very low base damage. She's not going to be able to really fight up against those Treants. So this bottom lane, Tide Hunter, Nature's Prophet. This is going to be a pain.
Yeah, for the Wyvern and the Troll. The Anchor Smash reduces damage. Wyvern is going to be effectively forced away. This is a calling bait immediately purchased by Luck. Doesn't want to get sprouted up. And I believe Geek Fam got... Yeah, they got 2 bounty runes, so it's going to be even. Shanks, however,
Courier.
wants to go for the Courier Snipe. Has the
He
tree.
wants
That
it.
Courier is dead. Dead donkey. Bad donkey.
That's a sad donkey.
Yeah, sad donkey.
Well, that's going to be no Courier for Queen of Pain. This is a pretty big deal as well because she's going up against a Kunkka. Now, Alacrity is going to definitely put a little bit of hurt on the Queen of Pain. She needs to make sure she's effectively using that regen. We'll check back on that middle lane a bit later. Now, this bottom lane, I'm actually very interested to see how this goes. If it's going to be a Geek Fam lane or if this is going to be a Team X lane.
That
'Cause
Treant, oh, they are actually a pain to
they're
navigate
annoying.
around. Even the base damage at level 1 is a lot for a hero like Troll or Winter Wyvern, and they are not squishy as well. They're actually super tanky. It's like those normal crit wave, even tankier than the crits, I would say, at one point.
Yeah, they're very tanky. I mean, at level 1, it's not efficient to farm them because you're better off farming creeps, but yeah, this is going to be a bit of a tussle in that bottom lane. We've got 2
Wonder-
waves of creeps.
Wonder what happened with that wave.
I'm guessing they tried to go for a pull, maybe? Well, that just happened.
Well,
didn't
interesting
see.
interaction. However, Queen of Pain, he did, has a just very slightly. I think he pushed Alacrity back, and Alacrity just solved up. You see that Shadow Strike is just causing a lot of trouble for Alacrity, but Fixers has to be really careful though. That Torrent is definitely going to miss, and Fixers ready to blink away if he needed. Sees the haste rune as well. He will pick it out immediately.
But this is the problem with Queen of Pain. She's already struggling with the regen. Very lucky to get the haste rune. You can run to the shrine, or actually go back to base depending on what he wants to do, heal up. But this is the dilemma when you're up against a Kunkka. If you don't have that constant regen, you're not going to be able to sustain. And this is free time for Alacrity on that Kunkka. And you don't want to fall behind if you're a Queen of Pain. Because Queen of Pain is the main tempo controller here on the side of Team X. Troll's not going to be able to do it. You're running an Elder Titan in your offlane role.
Oh yeah.
So for Fixers, I feel like this is going to be a really hard game for him because he's not looking at very easy targets to knock out of the park. He's going to have to put a lot of his faith in his teammates to help set up for him because, I mean, I got to say it, Queen of Pain's not a strong mid laner anymore. There's a lot of heroes that eclipse her in that department.
Oh, hold that thought as KYXY rooted up by Lux. Lux will now change to that range form. There's a Splinter Blast connects onto KYXY. Isidus draws first play in the top lane, but KYXY will have his life taken away. 2D with the 3rd kill immediately. Geek Fam, they lose 3 members in an instant.
What happened? It's a bloodbath already.
Okay,
3
never
heroes.
underestimate the ancestral spirit, but Alacrity will drop the Torrent, bring Fixers up for a ride. Not enough damage to kill him off. And Juggernaut will die as well. They do trade the Nyx back, but Nyx is the least of the bounty that you want to go for.
Yeah, what a bloodbath. Unfortunately, we've been missing the kills, so
There's too much going on.
we'll try and catch him for you guys. Very sorry, everyone. But yeah, I gotta say though, Team X, they're bloodthirsty. They've done fantastic in the lanes. I mean, Troll farming fantastically, 18, 17 on the Queen of Pain. Now they are being trailed by their lane opponents, but this doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. Queen of Pain needs to be ahead. if anything, Fixers has got to make that first gank work because
Yeah.
once he gains some tempo, he needs to maintain the tempo for his team and just be that nuisance and control the game. Because for Geek Fam, I think once Geek Fam picks up some tempo, the tankiness of their heroes are really going to outshine this damage output from Team X. Because I'm going to be honest, Team X is not rocking a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Their heroes don't do that much.
And Fixers got another lucky rune. It's gonna be regen rune this time, and it will force Alacrity to back off for now.
Oh,
However,
there's a kill.
Yeah, there we go. Fixers
That's
not,
what he wanted.
not shy to go for that kill immediately. Blinks in, Scream of Pain, easy pick up. And Geek Fam, they should not have even lost both their members in the top lane. I have no idea what happened. Probably this is the reason the Ancestral Spirit is just too much for Mercury, and
This is
I
what we were
believe-
talking about during the draft. You can't underestimate the Elder Titan in laning stage when he steals that physical damage.
he actually
It hurts.
beats you to death.
He beats you with a briefcase. I mean, that's embarrassing.
Looks more like the Thor
A
hammer.
stapler. I've had some interesting names for them.
A briefcase?
A briefcase and a stapler.
Stapler? I prefer brief. It looks more like a briefcase.
More like a briefcase. Maybe it depends on the cosmetic. I'm not sure.
But now Shanks is going to start rotating. But I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, the ward.
The ward.
That's-
Actually, we
that's-
spotted him
No,
out
that
though.
will give the Queen of Pain plenty of time. Unless
There's
Fixers
X
get
marks the
X
spot.
first.
There
Yep.
we go. Fixer's gonna get brought back. Definitely gonna die.
Oh!
No! Shanks is just way too slow.
Oh. That
Oh
was...
no, they wasted time rotating Shanks, and now Mercury has to turn back with the Blade Fury onto 2D. No kills for either side, but
I wonder
Team
what
X having
happened
such
there.
a great time.
Did they forget... Were they going to go for Avalanche first instead of Torrent? I thought they would at least go for Torrent
Yeah, I
first.
thought they were gonna go for Torrent, but I believe Lacry did not have enough.
No,
mana.
I think it was full of mana. Maybe they were just hoping to not use the mana.
Yeah. You see this?
Maybe.
He's ready. Oh my god, steals it away from in front of the Kunkka as well.
That's a very sad moment.
Yeah, Lacry is losing everything now. Shadow Strike gonna be connected onto him. Torrent is gonna land onto Insidious, but that's what he wants. Spike Clear Space will stun out Alacrity. He's tanky enough to walk away. Meanwhile, KYXY low on health. Luck is running away. Nuts as well.
can't commit.
Shanks' rotation has not been working out for Geek Fam.
No, this is sort of the disadvantage when you run an unorthodox support duo because they don't function like traditional supports.
Yeah, KYXY is gonna die again to the ruling access of Luck. And Brian, there's nothing he can do. Trent's gonna get farmed out by the troll. The bot lane is pretty much done for at this point.
I really
now.
think Geek Fam are banking on not late game. They're banking on mid game.
Yeah.
They're banking on their heroes to hit their level 6s, to get their ultimates, to turn everything around. I mean, they're going to get a troll kill.
It's gonna get caught out. It's gonna take super long though. Sprout comes out and Brian will take the kill.
Yeah, so it looks to me here that Geek Fam, they're banking on their levels, get the level 6, use all of their spells, and eventually start to grab some of those kills because I have to say their laning stage wasn't the best. I mean, considering what they're running, it's not really easy to contest these simple lanes coming out from Team X. I mean, 2D's enjoying this top lane.
He is the highest on net worth. I don't even know how that happened.
I mean, Juggernaut's not even contesting him in lane. He's gone into jungle
Yeah.
instead.
Uh,
That's how afraid he is.
It's again deja vu from last game. You leave 2D alone. 2D was left alone in the last game. He got a quick minus. Now he's going to get a quick drums on the Elder Titan as well. There's nothing that Geek Fam can do. Mercury will rejoin the lane, but you can see how much he's trying to avoid that matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2D is just gonna find him.
The Spirit didn't connect though, so no more bonus damage there for 2D. He's gone for the most he can grab. But yeah, poor Mercury has to hide right under his tower. He's so afraid.
And he doesn't have his support to help him because Shanks now needs to rotate to enable the bottom lane, which has been desperately needing that help. Fixer's taking a lot of damage from that Tidebringer, but
Gotta be careful.
he hit level 8, so the rotation can start to come out. KYXY, what are you doing there? That is not the spot you want to be in. Arctic Burn is there as Luck comes in with the ruining access.
TP
Start
up top.
raining the damage onto him. Fixers is coming in as well. TP is going to be too late. In fact, he doesn't even have time to use it as Fixers will pick up that easy kill from a room.
I think up top, are they trying to grab a kill? Why are there so many heroes? Oh, I think they were just going to support. Is that the Tiny up there with the jug?
Oh, it's such a bad idea for the TIE Hunter to just walk in and try to cut the creep wave.
I think what they're doing is they're trying to just grab Team X's attention to open up some of the lanes, but top isn't moving,
Yeah.
mid's not moving. So unfortunately, I don't think it's working how Geek Fam wants it to work. Because typically, you would see the supports moving, but I think Team X, they just say, guys, our heroes are enough. We don't need to bring extra support.
And but the good thing about TIE Hunter is he always has that Ravage to turn the fight around.
I mean,
He
Tide is one of those off lanes where he just needs his ultimate and that's
yeah,
it. He
just
functions.
Soaks up everything. You beat him, he climbs back up. You can kill him however many times you want. He just needs that one good Ravage. But I don't know how long Geek Fam can keep this up because Team X, they're not slowing down. You can see at this point, KYXY is not even going to enter lane. He's going to try to get that bounty rune first, which Team X will try to contest. Top lane is going to be the same as well. Mercury will start his spin. That avalanche.
I really want the
now
bounty
Mercury
rune.
might die as the Echo Storm connects perfectly into a stun. Drums is popped now. Mercury gets pushed back by the Sonic Wave. 2D on the killing spree. 2D with a double kill. 2D just wreaking havoc in the top lane.
That was an interesting move from Shanks. Like he just ran into the middle of that. I thought he would have maybe stayed back, go for the avalanche, but he gets caught with the impale.
He missed. I wouldn't say he missed it, but it wasn't the best avalanche.
I really think he was he overstepped his boundaries.
Yeah.
Also, Juggernaut definitely was greedy, really wanting that rune. When you see that many heroes and one of them is an Elder Titan, you know you're going to get caught in the sleep regardless.
2D was ready now. He instantly comes back with the Blade Free just to clear out that creep wave. Now middle lane's gonna have a collapse as well. Brian tries to sprout and TP away, but the DD room for Fixers is enough. Now Winter's Curse will catch out the Kunkka. The Pirate is gonna sink, but before that he'll be put to sleep. Goes for a nap. Brings in the boat as well. There is the boat onto Fixers, but Alacrity is not going anywhere. Apparently Alacrity does not have enough speed, and there's a joint effort from Team X to shut down the Kunkka. And now Luck again turning in onto KYXY, who is absolutely going to do nothing against the throw. At this point, they're going to bring in Shanks. Toss Luck back, but Luck is ready. Has the ultimate if he needs it. Brian is going to join the fight as well, but Luck
they
will
don't
run
have the
away. With the face boot, they don't even have the Ravage.
They don't have the traditional catch. Like, this is
There's
what
nothing.
happens. Yeah, they don't have the traditional heroes. They don't have a Tusk that can shards. They don't have Snowball. They don't have a Lift. They don't have the usual stuns. It's Sprout. It's Avalanche, Toss.
Yeah, Mercury.
It's different, but I don't think it's a good kind of different.
Oh, there is your Earthsplitter. Alacrity is going to get caught out, and that goes your percentage health, and Fixers going ham with that damage as Shanks is in, KYXY TP in as well. Should have the Ravage
Toss back.
because he got the level. Nuts get caught by the Omni Stash, but he will just cold embrace to keep himself alive for now. The Stump only on the TIE Hunter. Nuts going to get spin to death, but not before buying a lot of time for the rest of his team.
You're going to go into 2D?
He's going to hold forward for his team for now. It does not have the cooling blade as Shan's gonna toss him back into the rest of Geek Fam, but he will put 3 members to sleep, and that means Fixers comes back in. Surprise! Goes for dominating spree. TP now coming from Luck as Mercury goes for split again. Avalanche to connect on the 2D, but 2D somehow is still alive. The Sonic Wave will push Janks into the low ground. 2D running away. Brian trying to catch, not before Fixers gets a double kill. And Mercury, get away as Insidious is not able to connect that Earth Spike.
Yeah, Geek
Impale,
Fam,
sorry.
they just didn't have the damage. The Tiny, who's throwing avalanches, he's throwing tosses, he's trying to get these kills, and I think Alacrity's dead here.
Fixers, they call out great spike carapace to stun Alacrity, but however, Fixers might go down. No. Impale will keep both Brian and Alacrity at bay. Team Max again, they will walk away. Insidious might not be so lucky, does not have the spike carapace, and he will be the sacrificial lamp to Alacrity's tight.
Is not looking that great. 3K net worth lead going in the way of Team X. It doesn't seem like a lot now, but that gold is starting to creep up with this massive the massive kill lead coming in from our Singaporean squad. Geek Fam, you can see that they are very much visibly struggling in these fights. They don't have enough damage. The amount of catch that they have is so limited. If they can't kill their target that they're throwing avalanches, tosses, sprouts onto, they just run away.
Yeah,
and there's nothing they can do about
and
it.
that's the power of the Echo Storm. You can see 4 members of Geek Fam collapse onto T-Max. 2 of them were melee, and they all got put to sleep. There's nothing that Geek Fam, those heroes can do. Fixers came in and cleaned everyone up. And Shanks was lucky he escaped with his life even. Being able to TP out in the Roshan pit. However, Team X, they got all these kills, but they're not getting any towers. So that's a saving grace for Geek Fam. As Alacrity will get the middle lane tower. Fixer trying to get away from line of sight. He will go for a wraparound for the Arcane Rune. But at the same time, Nuts will find Mercury as Isidus is ready with the Vendetta. He's going to go into KYXY, breaks his passive. No Kraken Shao. Fixers comes back in for the unstoppable streak.
I'm going to ask a question because I don't think I've seen one. Have you seen Ravage yet?
No.
I don't.
I have not.
It really feels like Geek Fam, they're just not comfortable fighting with the Ravage. They're holding it.
They have. I don't think they have a good window to even use it because
No.
Brian is caught out with the Impale. Great Sonic Wave will push Alacrity back. Use as well is going to cancel that. X marks the spot as Insidious will try to negate a bit of damage with that Spike Carapace. However, he will go down as the Omniscience comes right out again. Nuts will negate the damage with that Cold Embrace. However, he has overstepped his boundaries and he will die to Mercury.
A little greedy there. It looked like they were trying to go for the catch with the Winter's Curse, but they managed to walk out of the radius, so no one is taking any damage there.
That's the entire Geek Fam TPing into the mid lane just to kill off 2 supports.
Yeah, it just shows the desperation that they're just looking for scraps at this point. Even if it's just little kills, little skirmishes, anything to try and feed them a little bit of gold because their lanes didn't do so well. They're starting to, well, they're eventually going to lose towers. I believe top tower is going to be the first one to go down. And they're soon going to lose map control. And if you look at Geek Fam's lineup, their push, I mean, it's mostly the Jug right now. Yeah, Nature's Prophet can push too, but look at how, I want to say they're under level, they're under farmed, they're under everything. They don't have anything.
The only thing that they're on top right now is Brian with that Observer Ward, and he's going to teleport away as well. And that's the power of the Queen of Pain. You get that early kills, and suddenly Alacrity is a non-factor coming into the 16-minute, which he should be making more impact than he's doing right now. And also partly because of Fixers getting all those lucky runes. Regen Rune, Haste Rune, Arcane Rune, DD as well. Everything that went in his favor and just making all the rotations happen. Brian will go for that Immediate Hammer, which would help a bit in team fights, but I doubt it will be enough. However, Geek Fam now going for the push, which is be a bit faster than Team X's push, committing off
They've
4
committed
members.
4 heroes to grab this.
So they will get that. They even use the drum, and they might push on. They might push on.
Is this just going to be a push strat? Is that what we're looking at here?
Team X, they need to respond to this though. Keep in mind that Elder Titan it does not have the Earth Splitter. He used it. It wasn't enough to clear the wave. There's the healing ward for the Juggernaut as well. Fixers will come back to pick up everything. But Geek Fam already got the tier 2, so can win a head-on fight. Just go for the push.
Also, Trollwaller just picking up a Battle Fury, so I think he's bunkering down for something a little bit later, which I don't mind, but I was kind of expecting them to maybe utilize this early game lead that they have, maybe turn the Troll into an early game fighter. They're going to spot out
the TP coming in. They're going to find Alacrity as the
Alacrity's
bigger
tanky.
target. Great use, but maybe used a bit too early. Doesn't matter. Sonic Wave is used. The boat comes in as well. Alacrity trying to run away with the rum. The boat will latch on to Fixers though. However, Wisdom's going to lock Shanks his place. Alacrity almost get that AA off. The toss will bring Insidious down. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Shrine gets used as well. Fixers just going to watch as Luck picks up that kill onto Shanks.
Oh, Brian.
Alright. Not going to get anything accomplished for now. 2D use that Earth Splitter. He might be caught out. Brian is just trying to do something.
The Meteor Hammer.
He's getting all the wards in though.
Tower strat.
Yeah.
I still have mixed feelings about this strat.
Takes a lot of time and patience.
I don't know if it's just time and patience, maybe a little bit of tolerance with how slowly this is going to take.
Yeah, KYX right now gonna be the next victim. Might be put to sleep. Not even. He'll take a longer nap in the fountain. Yeah, that's it. Fixers is now godlike on the Queen of Pain.
Geek Fam, I honestly wish I knew what you guys are talking about right now. What's the play here? Are they just trying to buy as much time as possible? Because
Brian is dead.
at this point, all Team X is doing is they see hero, they kill hero.
Yeah.
And they're getting the kills. Geek Fam are not getting away. They're not really grabbing objectives. All their tier 1s, bar their bottom tier 1 is down. Sure, Geek Fam managed to get a great push going in that bottom lane, but what are they going to accomplish afterwards? Is it just create time for Juggernaut to become a critical factor? Because with all these kills, you're giving gold away to the cause on the side of Team X, and Fixer is running Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain is a fantastic tempo hero if she gets early kills, early items. She starts to just eviscerate all these little smaller, less relevant heroes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's happening here.
You can see Mercury going for that Radiance build. He is still wants to put all the eggs in the basket for that Radiance build, and it's a clear indicator. Geek Fam wants to go as late as they can. Geek Fam, I don't know if they're giving them the window. T-Max, sorry, not sure if they're giving Geek Fam the window to do so. However, I would say Brian trying his best to just do this, which is still kind of effective, but I don't know how long they can do this for, because he's eventually gonna get caught out. He's losing vision across the map, which Insidious is doing his best to try and counter with all those by walking around placing the sentry wards. However, Brian is just trying to rinse and repeat now. Insidious using that early spike carapace to guarantee that bounty rune for himself. They still have not seen the Nature's Prophet yet, and Brian is gonna take that tower, so he's gonna get away.
Honestly, I'm speechless. I really don't know what to say at this point. It has. I mean, this is... I gotta say it. It's kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
It's kind of cheesy, but I mean, it's working. If you look at where Team X is, they are stuck on their side of the map. They haven't really been asserting any more aggression onto Geek Fam side of the map. So, I mean, the Nature's Prophet split push shenanigans, it's doing something, but for how much longer is it going to work? Because Troll's getting items, Queen of Pain is getting items, Elder Titan's getting items, and the way that Team X is itemizing as well, they're getting ready for high ground push.
Yeah,
they picked up Greaves on the Queen of Pain, which is going to be their sustain. Also, Disables, not going to be as effective on the Queen of Pain either. And look at how limited the Disables are on the side of Geek Fam. They have so little already.
Yeah, 2D is going to go for BKB. You can easily set up for high ground push, like you said. There's the Greaves. 2D will get his BKB soon. Suddenly, the Echo Storm would force you away from the high ground tower, because you don't want to get caught up. They can collapse on you immediately. So at this point, I don't see a way for Geek Fam to effectively engage or disengage. Yeah, the Radiance finally purchased at 21.5 minutes. They're going to smoke up and try to find something, but they're not going to find anything.
Well, wait.
They're committing for a late game.
They're going for a Radiant spin. It has to be a Radiant spin build.
Yeah, there we go. Counter smoke now from T-Max. And T-Max are in a great position. Luck will be found out, but he has the ult. He doesn't even have to worry about it. X marks the spot, brings it back. Avalanche. There's the bolt. He gets tossed out. Meteor Hammer strikes him down, but he still has the ult to keep himself alive. Doesn't even need for now. 3-man.
But the Radiance burn.
There's the Winter Skirt, but everyone is asleep. Radiance gonna burn the troll down, and this might be the fight that Geek Fam need. KYXY tries to walk forward. Still has the Ravage available. X marks the spot. Will bring Insidious back, and Insidious is a dead bug. So Geek Fam will find 2. Mercury on a killing spree. Unfortunate Winter Skirts right there. Everyone was asleep. No one was bothered to wake up to hit, I believe, which was a Tiny. 2D can still be effective though. There is the Echo Stomp again.
That was such a smart play from Tiny
might be called out though, as Shanks will definitely be called out. 2D pops the BKB. Omni-Slash gets used onto him, but he's not afraid. He's going to stand his ground and start to fight. There's a solid wave. Lands on the tree. Insidious comes in. Great spike carapace. Fixes is beyond godlike. 2D puts everyone to the net again. Ravage is 10 years
The Radiance is burning.
Mercury goes towards spin. Start burning everyone down. 2D runs away. Nuts gets the safety as well, but not so safe for Mercury, as Vixus is now beyond godlike. Might just find the third. Blinks right in now. Goes on the Tiny as Brian tries to kill the Winter Wyvern. The toss is committed. Finally, KYXY gets a double kill. Luck is back in the fray. Shanks tries to get away, but Fixus will now get a triple kill as Nuts buys back. But T-Max, they will take again everything away from Geek Fam.
I actually feel like the Radiant spin build is because of the Winter Wyvern.
Oh yeah.
I kid you not. I actually think it's because of the Winter Wyvern. He says, I'm done with his Winter's Curse. I'm done with your Cold Embrace. This is how I do... I mean, okay, let's put it this way. Radiance is a really good farming item. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Radiance is great for farming. Juggernaut can still utilize the item. Normally, we don't normally see this item picked up on the Jug, but they're adjusting their play style to play around these heroes on the side of Team X. Now, whether this is effective or not, we saw during that team fight, the longer the fight goes, the more Radiance burn, the more spins he gets, which is fine, but they're still not outlasting Team X yet. They still need to farm more items, more sustain, something to give them heals, something to amplify the damage coming out from Geek Fam. If they can finish some Greaves, a mech, I don't know if they have any of these items. I don't believe they do. They're probably going to have to wait for the Greaves on the Tidehunter. They're mostly relying on the heals from the healing board, but as of now, they still need to be very careful. But with how the game is going, I mean, they're dragging things out. They're getting kills. I don't know if it's really working. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Clearly that wasn't working, but I'm very surprised Jug was there to begin with. I guess he just got caught farming.
Yeah.
I guess he just got caught farming.
Brian's going to continue that split push that he has been doing for the past 10 minutes. It's Media Hammer all the way. He's even going for the Necro Bolt. So you can see that Brian's role now is just to split up the entire map, force Team X to react, and hopefully create enough time for the rest of his team. He's going to force luck back, that's for sure. The glyph is used as well by Geek Fam.
Oh.
Alacrity goes Envy with the Shadow Blade.
Are they going to try and punish here? Alacrity doesn't have much mana though.
Yeah. But suddenly, now luck is a problem.
I mean, luck is always going to be the problem. Because he's got Battle Fury, he can farm, Great Cleave, natural hard-hitting hero as well. Whereas Jug would normally be in the same role, in the same boat, but because he's gone back for this Radiance build, it's really set him back. Because Radiance is an item, it does burn damage, it's good for farming, but it doesn't give him raw stats. And Juggernaut in himself doesn't have the best raw stat distribution, so he is still very squishy in this game.
Nuts is not going to be caught out. He even got the Blink Dagger. This Winter Wyvern is actually super huge now. If you look at the buyback status, only Mercury has the buyback, and Team X will go for the push. There's no glyph for Geek Fam. They used it and tried to get the push going in the top lane, which failed.
Geek Fam's in the middle lane. They're just saying, screw it.
Yeah.
We're going to push other lanes. But even if they push the other lanes, can they out-push Team X?
Is just finding everyone.
Oh no.
Radiant's gonna get Mercury stunned up, but Insidious might die though. He's very far away. 2D now. We start to put people to sleep. Only sleeps KYXY, but it's not enough to save Insidious as he gets spun to death. However, if you look at the top lane, the high ground tower is already gone. KYXY is gonna TP in. Try to find someone. They might only see luck though. X-Master 4, can they get it onto Fixers? They can't even get it onto Fixers. Now Nuts is caught out in the trees. It's going to blink away. Breeding beside Shanks. The Avalanche will miss. Nuts getting away with his life. Now Brian is caught out, but there's no crowd control. He will TP back to base for that Necro Bolt, but Nuts is just... This guy is playing with death. And he's not being punished for it. Look at how far this guy is.
He's just playing with it. Oh, the curry! Oh, they had to glyph it. They had to glyph it.
That's
he's not going to commit. I think he wanted to save the blink.
Yeah, he's dead. He's actually dead.
Yeah.
It took too long. It took way too long.
Oh, can they cancel? X. Yeah.
Oh, there
we got it. Troll has just picked up a BKB. Now that the BKB is up, there's going to be no way he can be X'd, no way he can be ravaged, no way he can be spun to death with a Radiance. No way he's going to get hit with the Avatos. I think Toss still works, right? Yeah, Toss still works. Now, the only things that's going to stun him, or actually catch him out at all, is Toss and Sprout.
That's Media Hammer.
That's about it.
Go through
Media
BKB?
Hammer doesn't go through BKB, I'm pretty sure.
So now X, completed by Fixers. 40 seconds cooldown, insane amount of damage, no wards from Geek Fam to spot this guy out.
And the creeps are also not in their advantage as well.
Oh,
so they can't do any cheeky plays.
They can find KYXY as 2D will spawn an Ancestral Spirit. Not close enough to get a stun though. Alacrity. Oops, gonna find Fixers.
But can he kill him though? It's a bit tanky.
Yeah, he's super tanky.
Oh, he X'd himself.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a mistake.
But he does land the torrent, so Fixers still gonna get away. So it doesn't matter in the end. Brian's effectiveness at split pushing is starting to fall off a bit as the wave are not even in Geek Fam's favor. However, Geek Fam, they are effectively slowing down the game. It's a matter of slowing it down for a bit more longer.
But how much longer can they stall for?
Yeah, Spirit Vessel is done as well. So
this troll is going to completely outdo Mercury unless they have that miracle team fight. That miracle team fight where they get the big ravage, they get the boat, they get the avalanche toss, but that's That's a big ask. That's asking for several ultimates to land on top of each other. And in most Dota games, that doesn't happen. Especially at Dota games at this level, spell should only hit 2 heroes at max.
Exactly.
3 to 4.
There you go.
You set that up. And
HusKKiee now committed onto Brian, which is trying to TP away, but there's no...
the Yules.
Yules will bring it up, back to the ground, into the grave.
Yep. I mean, it did force them back, though, so it's a bit more time for Geek Fam. But Geek Fam's still farming.
Yeah, I love the Heaven's Halberd from KOXY. He's going to stop the troll from attacking for brief period. A Heaven's Halberd on the Kunkka as well. They really want to stop this troll from just hammering down on the team, but Luck is just going to start taking strides.
I think they also want the evasion as well.
Yeah.
It's helpful, but I still... I mean, I'm still worried. Jug's progress on his items, he's getting there slowly, but they're getting choked out on the map. They're not able to really distribute farm anymore. They've got to put priority onto Alacrity, onto Mercury, onto KYXY. The supports really aren't getting anything either. I mean, Nature's Prophet is split pushing, but that's all he's become now. It's just become this split pushing hero. You're essentially fighting 4v5.
And look at what Luck is. This guy he is so confident that he just walks into a lane and pushes out the entire wave. He's not worried about getting caught. Isidia certainly isn't worried because he has the Vandella, uses early spike carapace. There's the blink in from Nas, Impale onto the Juggernaut. They want to kill Mercury off. The Sonic Wave not enough to finish him off, but the bolt will miss completely. And now Nuts is going to engage on by Alacrity. He does have the Cold Embrace to keep himself alive though. There is the Winter's Curse as well. You can see Luck will pop that BKB. Insidious gets caught by X, marks the spot. 2D will use the Echo Storm. Insidious gets brought right back.
Oh, nice toss.
It into the tier 4. Insidious still running away. Super taggy. Impale, Spike Carapace is still. They finally bring him down. But Luck at the same time is going to find Brian. He's going to face boot into his face and just chop him into pieces. That's a dead prophet right there. Did not foresee his death.
Yeah, that did stop the mid push, but you know, things are not getting better at this point. Things are not getting better. The Juggernaut, unfortunately, is still quite handicapped with where he is in terms of his farm. I mean, he's third most farm, but it's items that he wished he had earlier. Otherwise, he would have transitioned to a physical build like the Troll Warlord. But
there is your combo coming in, trying to kill off Luck. Luck does have
they
the
have
ultimate though. They even commit the bolt. It's gonna not land onto Luck. Luck is ready. Omni Slash is used. Luck actually goes down. It does not have the ultimate, I believe. It actually does not. So the Smoke Gang did work out. They only get the troll.
They gotta buy time.
Yeah. The scan did spot out 2D. But 2D wasn't able to respond to that anyways. They even gonna glyph out that wave. Sonic Wave is used just to clear the entire wave. Alacrity is there. He will do the same as well. So Geek Fam, they still is effectively buying time for the team.
They gotta keep buying time.
Yeah.
They gotta keep going later and later at this point. They cannot hit a timing. They've just gotta go all out late.
Yeah.
I mean, they're heroes. If you can get farm on all of these heroes, they scale very well into the late game. But
fixes.
Do we even reach a late game scenario?
We might at this point. It's 32 minutes. Fixes.
Oh, do they know?
Gets caught out.
I think they.
Yeah, it's gonna start blinking away. As Shanks will find him with the Avalanche, gonna toss him out. Fixes can still blink away. However, there is the X marks the spot. Fixes gonna blink and use, waiting for that cooldown to come back off. Not gonna be a TP away. Shanks gonna find him as Fixes will now blink and TP.
Does he know? Oh, he caught him!
He's gonna land. Fixes will use that Greaves. Now he does not have the TP, but he does have the blink. And the resources committed by Geek Fam, and they get nothing in return.
That's a waste of time too.
Yeah. And he does have the Greaves, so he'll recover immediately from that heal.
Okay. We got a BKB picked up onto Alacrity's Kunkka, so he will be able to survive these fights now. And Queen of Pain now has one too, so I mean, Ravage, not going to be a problem. X shouldn't really be a problem either. Avalanche loss. Practically everything on Geek Fam is going to not be a problem for anymore for Fixes.
And now, Troll going for the Abyssal.
I think Juggernaut's finished his Manta style now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he
should have finished it by now.
He should have it. I would be deeply upset if he
I'd want to know what he wants to go for after.
Ethereal. He's actually banking
Oh my...
He's actually banking in on the entire magic damage. Thing as Fixer now goes right in, the Storm won't put anyone to sleep as Alacrity will be used out, brought back down. There's a disarm that we're talking about onto Luck, but Luck is now going to where Alacrity paused the BKB.
There's no
Great Avalanche, but the Spike Carapace will stun up Shanks. The KYXY is caught in the middle of everyone. Does not have the cooldown
mana.
for Ravage, and that means it's a big blunder for Geek Fam. Omni Slash is committed, but it's being bounced around the entire team of Team X now. Mercury's gonna get caught up, pops that healing ward. Healing ward gonna get taken out right away, start spinning, but the Winter Curse will catch him out. Insidious gonna walk right in, gets caught by the Avalanche. Doesn't matter, Mercury is now down. Alacrity is taking a nap where he should not be doing so. He will be killed off as well. And that Team X getting 3, looking for 4 on that Tiny as he has Spirit Vessel onto him. Arctic Burn, burning him down. He cannot get the blink of damage over time, which is too much as the rest of Team X will not TP in. 2D is ready at the shrine. He's gonna get that Spirit out as the blink in from Nas will stop, will reset the blink dagger cooldown. Shanks can still TP away, he will get to safety, but Geek Fam, they lose 3 in that fight.
And Troll Warlord's in that middle lane, so that tower is going to be a very sad one very soon. But, well, we see this.
Doing his work
We see the strength of Team X. The spin, not really a problem. Brian
he
trying to
did
do
get
his.
the high ground tower, so
I mean, even though he gets the tower, though, look at
Oh
their
no.
base.
he missed. He missed the blink. Oh, but the TP is never
Yep.
mind. Oh
But look at their base, though. The
Yeah.
base is in shambles. They can force the buyback if they want to.
Yeah, they lost the Tiny as well, so KYXY alone is there's no way you can defend that. But I think he will be able to save that high ground tower, so good for him.
I want to say that mid fight just now, if KYXY had mana for Ravage,
He
that
did
actually
not
would have been different.
He was like 10 mana away
was-
from that Ravage.
It was just
was
a
that
tiny
close.
bit, and then just as he got the mana, he died.
Yeah, so
That really hurts.
look at luck. Holy cow. Oh, he committed his out, so he won't have out. KYXY going for a disrupt.
where's
Really want to go for a
the
steal, but
mana?
he's going to take a nap in front of Roshan. And now teammates going to turn on to him. He says, screw the Roshan. We want KYXY. Actually, they're going to use him out, take the Aegis in front of him, make him feel bad about coming in. The bonus committed as well, but KYXY is not going to live to see daylight again.
No buyback.
75 seconds on the clock. No buyback now for the TIE Hunter. As speed push will commence from Geek Fam. But Team X, they have the Aegis. They can do anything they want at this point.
Man, that mana burn is really hurting the Tide Hunter. I mean, KYXY just wants to go in to do his thing, but every single time, he just doesn't have enough mana. Every time. I'm pretty sure he's frustrated at this point, just how much of an issue the Nyx Assassin is. Just keeps taking his mana away.
Now MKB is done, so Radiance is a null factor at this point.
The game just gets harder and harder here, unfortunately.
And
for
strong
Geek
dispel
Fam.
as well. So if you Heaven's Halberd this guy, he just outs and he starts attacking again. Now Luck's gonna run it down mid, and there's no one there to defend.
Yep, 30 seconds left on Tide, still no buyback. It's 80 gold, so he's not going to make it.
That's the disarm. They have fixers to defend against the bottom lane push, and that's Mercury and Brian, both of them in the bottom lane.
But their middle Raxes are under siege by a Troll Warlord.
Yeah, look at Luck. This guy is wrecking squad right now. Now Mercury finally coming back, but Luck is just gonna run off.
Mercury's got to be so careful. He just he gets hit with one Winter's Curse. That's enough setup for the whole team to kill him when he finishes spinning.
You can see the amount of resources that Geek Fam are trying to commit just to kill off this troll, and this troll is not even going down. Has the Aegis, has the out again.
Nice
You can
halberd.
disarm this for as long as you want, but then you have the entire team X to worry about. KYS was gonna blink in, but Luck doesn't even care. He will when he gets this arm, but this arm is gonna start wearing off. Brian, in the meantime, trying to use that bot time to try to push as
the
much as he
E-blade.
can. Eternal Blade gets used. That's the BKB. Luck going ham. Sonic Wave coming in. That's a dead Tiny. Again, he's going to buy back straight away. Alacrity is going to go to sleep. KYXY with a 4-5-man Ravage, but there's no damage. Luck is going to get an Omni Slash in the face, but it's going to bounce onto Insidious. Insidious doesn't even go down. Guidance Grip gets used. Now Luck's going to come back in. That's the Echo Slam again. Echo Stomp. Excuse me, as KYXY now has nothing left. As everyone gets put to sleep, as the buyback from Shax might not be able to keep himself alive. They do use the Eternal Blade. At the same time, Winter Weapon will buy back as Brian making the split push work. Now Luck might get killed as well as he starts to run away. Does not have the BKB. The sleep will land onto both the Tiny and the TIE Hunter, but Alacrity is coming
There's
in.
X.
Has X marks the spot. He's going to bring Luck back. Luck now forced to fight, but he cannot because he is disarmed. He cannot attack. Mercury's burn is coming out and he will die. Fixers get a constellation kill onto Brian, and Geek Fam save their Rex.
That was very costly. So it looked like what they were doing, even though they were losing Raxes, they were actually trying to finish the E-Blade onto Mercury. And I'm pretty sure this came as a sudden surprise here for Team X, because you wouldn't have expected an E-Blade on a Juggernaut of all heroes. But, I mean, that thing is doing a lot of damage. He's just going in, nuking heroes down, especially for Troll Warlord. This is going to be a massive pain in the backside because in Ghost form, he can't hit anything. He's going to be really pissed off now. I don't think this is enough to sort of turn the game on its head, though, because it's high ground. High ground will always be an advantage point for Geek Fam to fight on because they've got the vision advantage. For Team X, though, they've still gotten their objective. If the game can somehow end within the next 10 minutes, I think that's where Geek Fam's going to have to try and utilize that point. But I still think Team X is still running a massive advantage because that only reason they won that fight was the Ravage.
Yeah.
The Ravage setup really helped them there.
And it really all comes down to the Ravage and the buyback as well. If the Tiny wasn't there, they wouldn't have gotten that much control in the fight in the first place. Because Tro was preoccupied by all those disarm from the Heaven's Halberd, trying to run around killing people off.
I don't think they were expecting the damage output either. The sudden E-Blade
is actually a pain. But they might find Brian in the top lane, which Brian will just turn around and start to fight. Because Insidious was called out multiple times and now he's trying to look for that Nature's Prophet's going to find him. The Impale actually comes in time, and if they kill Brian, it's going to be a big dent in what Geek Fam is trying to do. Now Brian's going to try again to go for the TP out, and he will make it to safety. 2D has nothing to stop him.
No, the late game rat has come out to play.
Yeah,
We'll see if the rat works, though. I mean, it's still a legitimate strat. I know a lot of people don't like rat Dota, but I really think this is what Geek Fam's going to do. They've got to pull out every trick in the book. Every little trick, including the one I've never seen before, which was the Radiance Spin E-Blade Jug.
If you gotta play dirty to win, this is how it's gonna come down to.
I mean, a win's a win at the end of the day, and I think if you're Geek Fam, no matter what, you just gotta get that win. You gotta get those 3 points.
Yeah, if they lose this, it's going to be such a big blow.
That's minus, not minus really. They don't get the 6 points.
Okay, well XY, no, there's no way he want to be. He's broken. Forced himself away, but he's gonna get used up. Can the rest of the team get here in time? There's the Ravage committed. He doesn't get put to sleep yet, but the bolt will be used. It's gonna land onto no one. And Team X, they will start retreating. Look at Luck doing all the work in the top lane. Insidious will be brought back with X marks the spot, but there's nothing that Geek Fam can do.
And look up top. You got Luck. He's gonna go for the Raxes.
There's no Ravage on KRXY. KRXY he only has the disarm. Now they're trying to use Brian and I believe Shanks to do everything, but Luck is just going ham. He's gonna get the first rack.
How do you compete?
By Mercury.
How do you compete with a Troll Warlord in a base race?
Yeah.
You don't. But we'll see if they can keep them occupied. This might not be too bad. Luckily, I gotta say, luckily for Geek Fam, they only lose that one Rax. It could have been worse.
You can see Brian. He's just trying to get all those high ground towers. That might be the ticket to really drag the game out, but that TP is on long cooldown.
Hey, I just see a big item being picked up by our Conquer. It's a Daedalus. So we are going to start seeing some of those crits come out. Now, this could be a rude awakening for Team X if they don't know this Daedalus is up. Don't underestimate your Conquer that can crit. This is actually starting to become quite dangerous now for Team X because the heroes on Geek Fam are now starting to get some pretty big items. They're starting to scale. They're getting levels. And we can see Team X, they're starting to struggle. Before, these heroes on Geek Fam, they were fairly squishy, very easy to melt. But now they have to invest a lot of spells, a lot of time, a lot of energy to get rid of them. Which, look at where everyone is on Geek Fam. Look at how long it's taking for them to kill the Nature's Prophet. This is farming time. This is safe time. This is a safe space for Geek Fam.
And I honestly think it could have been slightly better from Fixers. They didn't have to use the use before he sees the TP. Scream of Fear. Scream of Pain now has the fear. You could always use that when Brian's about to TP.
Yep, Scythe of Ice.
Gets a Scythe of Ice, so now things are going to be different.
Yeah, that's a massive item to have, especially if you just throw Scythe of Ice onto
but they're fighting without the Winter's Curse though, so that's a small win for Geek Fam because there's a lot of commitment. However, with the Scythe of Ice, they kind of negates the absence of the.
I mean, Winter's Curse should be coming off cooldown soon, so I think they won't. They'll probably hold off the engagement until it's ready. Yeah, 30 seconds. So that's.
Oh no, the scan finds no one, and they might just walk into
a trap.
Team X. Oh. There you go. Mercury coming in with the E-Blade. He's gonna start spinning. There's your Impale onto KRXY. He's gonna delay him for a bit now. Mercury's called out with the hacks. Do they have the damage to kill him off though? 2D going ham as he gets fear and gets pushed away. BKB used as well. That's the Omni Sash, but it's negated by the use immediately. Shan's coming in. He's invisible. Insidious gets hit by a crit. Now Fixer tries to run away. Has the fear. Shan's going to follow up with the Avalanche Toss. They might kill off Fixer, and Fixers will go down. Brian now commits the buyback. Nuts is in a sour spot. Does not have the Winter Skirts, and that is bad for the Winter Wyvern. He does use the Glimmer. Winter Skirts now finally get used as the damage. It's going to start to be transferred onto Shanks, but it's not enough to kill off Shanks. Now KYXY will commit onto killing off Nuts, and Nuts used the co-embrace, keeping himself alive for the longest time ever. Finally gets pinned down by Mercury. Slight win for Geek Fam. They might go for Roshan.
There's no buybacks on these two heroes either. I don't know if Geek Fam knows about this at all. Maybe they'll... Are they going to try and push the issue? If they push the issue here now, if they try to push the issue here now, this actually should be some Raxes. But look at Geek Fam. They're playing so safely.
Team X fought a 2v5, so I'm not really surprised by that. However,
no,
Brian did bot back for that.
No, I'm surprised because Team X hasn't fought like that up until this point.
Yeah.
Team X has always fought together. I don't know what's actually happening with Team X. Are they underestimating Geek Fam's lineup now? Because Ravage is still up. There's no Queen of Pain.
Luck is going to BKB. 2D goes right in as well. They're going to hammer Mercury as Mercury pops the Shiva. Super tanky. Going to get away as Indeed brings the boat in. That's the Ravage. Only committed onto Luck, but Luck will die. And he's going to be forced to buy back. Get another win for Geek Fam. Forcing the Troll buyback. And they should be able to take this tower without any problem.
They still have E-Blade as well if the Troll wants to try and come in.
Yeah, and Troll has no out. So Geek Fam, they have... Now the chance of bringing this game back is they're going to get that Rax. It's going to be Megas for Geek Fam.
Team X.
Team X dropping the ball, going for the 2v5, which is not working out at all. And it's Mega Creeps, I believe, for Geek Fam. And now Team X really wants to force the issue. They know that Geek Fam has no Ravage, but the crit from Alacrity is just too much for Insidious to deal with. That's the use from Fixers onto Alacrity. It's going to pop that BKB, and Mercury is going to jump right in with the E-Blade and the spin, trying to take that Insidious. That's the issue being forced. Sonic Wave gets used as well. Pushes Alacrity back, but Luck's going to go down. He does not have the ultimate, and the Meteor Hammer will drop right onto it because it's in the tree lines. It's going to get stunned now, but it's
Lifesteal?
going to use that Lifesteal. There's a great Shadow Strike. Sleep coming out again, but Mercury is invulnerable to magic damage or any crowd control. That's the E-Blade coming out onto 2D. And now this Arrow Titan trying to walk around past the BKB. Finally Fixers going in with the fear, trying to keep everyone occupied. Lackery gets broken, impaled out, but is the damage enough though? Not yet. Finally goes down. Shax might die as well. Hex onto KYXY. KYXY will now go to sleep and go back to the base. 4 down for Geek Fam. Tie Hunter buys back. Kunka has it as well, but not Brian.
It's Mega
However,
Creeps.
it's Mega Creeps pushing into the base. Fixers will be the one dealing with it. And the rest of Team Max now hit for Roshan.
Are they going for Roshan? Are they going for Roshan?
They better go for Roshan.
Are they going to
not.
try and push mid? They're trying to prevent Nature's Prophet from trying to go for the push. Or his Necro units anyway. But there's buybacks. I think Team X, they're banking on the no buybacks, but...
There are no buybacks on the Nature's Prophet, but they is on the
there's
Tiny and Alacrity, so you can see Mercury doing a lot of work as Luck tries to hammer him down. Dude doesn't have the damage to do so at this point.
They need the whole team to do this. They can't fight like this.
Yeah, you need another fight like the one in the middle lane.
This I have to say, the Nature's Prophet really is starting to kick into gear in this game. The fact that he just kept split pushing all of the lanes, exposing those side lanes, really hurt Team X. Team X, I have to say, they've been struggling all game to try and close this game out because Nature's Prophet, Juggernaut, everyone is split pushing. Now it's Mega Creeps.
Oh, the bash onto Mercury. He's stunned. Now the chain stun is too much. Mana burn, he dies!
He's got buyback.
Are
they trying to bait?
They're going to go for KYXY. KYXY now will be Echo Stomp. Goes to sleep. He's going to wake up to Rude Awakening. Pulse that Ravage. Starts on the fall. Trying to buy times. Kunka's coming back. KYXY trying to run away. Gets feared by the Scream of Pain. The Impale does miss, but KYXY does not have mana to do anything else. He's going to get brought down. Mercury now buys back. Alacrity will respawn, but Brian is doing work. In the middle lane,
is he doing God's work?
Now, Geek Fam just trying to buy time as the rest of Team S really desperately trying to close out this game. The bush is going to be used. Horror onto 2 as well.
Look at it, it's going to be base race.
Tries to go for the crit.
Does Team X know?
There's no buyback. No, Geek Fam coming for the comeback. And Brian just working on the throne. The attention is now on the throne itself because it is exposed by those Necro Books, and he's going to force Team X to TP back to base to defend against that. And it opens up the entire game for Geek Fam.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I asked for an exciting game, and you were as well, but this is a whole new can of worms. I didn't expect us to go into some madness like this, but I'm enjoying myself.
This is the definition of just an extreme slugfest where everyone's dying around the map. The game swings around like a pendulum. Geek Fam having the lead right now. The 7k goalie doesn't matter because Geek Fam will get the cheese, they will get the ages, and it should be almost impossible for them to lose the next fight unless Team X wants to do something about it, but Insidious clearly can't do so. The Geek Fam in the driver's seat, and no buyback for Luck for another minute. Geek Fam can just happily push in high ground if they want to.
Can they happily push in though? There are still a lot of factors that they need to worry about going up high ground. Winter's Curse, the sleep, Queen of Pain coming in with the fear as well. So if anything, Geek Fam, obviously they're going to feel a lot more comfortable because they have access to the Aegis cheese.
Yeah,
and double Daedalus as well, so we could get some really nice crits coming out from Alacrity.
Yeah,
40 seconds to go. Can they hold this?
40 seconds is a long time if you're Team X right now.
Now remember, there's no Tidehunter as well for a little bit, so there is 4v4.
Oh, great E-Blade reflection, I believe, from Insidious, so it's going to stop Mercury down a bit, but only one tier 4 stands between Geek Fam and their victory. He's going to start a delay as much as they can. They jump onto Mercury. He goes down straight away, but he does have the Aegis. That might be a saving grace. That's a blink in. They're going to catch Insidious. Insidious will use himself out. That's a great Winter's Curse, but everyone now goes to sleep, and that means no enough damage dealing onto Shanks, as Shanks is really tanky. The Earth Split comes through though. There's the fear again onto Fixers, as Fixers gets the E-Blade in the face. BKB's right away. There's the stun again. That's
Trolls
coming
back.
Oh my god, 2D! What is that?
Trolls back.
He will immediately kill off the Nation's Prophet, and now Luck says, I'm angry. That's your Ravage onto 3. Kills off the Insidious right away. Insidious will buy back the KRXY, will take the axe in the face as Shanks will die. Nothing left for Geek Fam. Mercury in the grave. KYXY Alacrity runs to safety, and Team Max, they hold the base, they hold the game, and they hold the series.
40 precious seconds. The way they stacked their spells going into that defense was beautiful. Winter's Curse, the Fear, the Impales, the Sleeps as well. Just so beautifully crafted coming out from Team X. Geek Fam, they just they couldn't pierce through the base defense. And they really needed the Tidehunter to go in there to start off with the Ravage, but Tidehunter was down. I can understand Geek Fam wanting to make that play because they had Aegis, they had Cheese, they needed to utilize these items while they could before the Troll came back. Now Troll is back, now he's going down this middle base. You've got no Juggernaut. I don't think Geek Fam can hold this.
Yeah, he's going to take a miracle and insane skills to hold the fort right now. Alacrity tries to go for the crit.
We gotta pray for the crit
here.
Gonna
miss it. And you see how much how fast they kill Mercury. Doesn't even care about the whole magic immunity because Sonic Wave goes through that. Hacks on Alacrity. He's going to come back, and this might be the last stand. Buyback from Shanks as Luck going to work. KYXY does not have the Ravage. You must remember that they go onto Insidious, which is only the support. Doesn't even go down. Alacrity is going to get turned on. Fixers will pop their Guardian's Grief. Look at Shanks being run down. 2D, the Elder Titan is destroying the Titan. Hacks on the KYXY. Finally eats the cheese. Kraken Shell brings him back to normal form. Brian going for the back door though. They have to defend this.
The Ravage!
Going to cancel the TP. Can Team X make it back to base? Winter's Curse is used. The drone is now exposed. And now there's the stun, the bash, the nat onto Brian. They need to kill him, and they will. Brian will fail the back door. I believe, did he buyback for that? Because if he did...
He didn't. He still got buyback. Look at his team. They're coming down middle lane. They're saying, Brian, good job. We held the base. We didn't even need the Juggernaut as well.
And there's 40 seconds until Troll has buyback. They can still do this.
This is such a hard... Honestly, I'm waiting for that Alacrity.
Yeah.
That Alacrity hit.
I'm honest to God that Brian is the true carry. I don't care what people say. The support is doing all the work.
Cancel TP.
Shan's going to cancel the TP, but Scream of Pain will force him away. And the Fixer's playing this safe because Alacrity is going for him. And if he dies, it's going to be a big blunder. And they are. BKB, that means no BKB for the Queen of Pain. No Winter's Curse as well. Geek Fam, they're going to have Brian up, but not Insidious. Insidious does not have buyback.
A nail-biting finish. Unless... I don't know how they're going to do it.
2D again going in. BKB committed. They're going for the throne straight away, and Luck's not going to have that happening. Brian now on the back side. That's your refresher. Green committed. They're going for the throne straight away. Mid-heaven gets dropped. The damage going down. Thrown at 10%. Only way gets used. No! They're going to go to the sleep. Doesn't matter. Geek Fam close this out by the skin of their teeth, and they tie out the entire series against Team X.
Someone needs to give Brian a medal, a trophy. A car, give him a car. I'm not joking, give him a car.
I don't care what people say in the chat. I don't care what you guys think. Brian carried the entire game.
That not just Brian though, the whole team did such a good job. They were defending without the Juggernaut on the high ground. 3 heroes.
Yeah.
3 heroes defending against 5.
Yeah, but it was also because how Brian set up the entire game. He spent like 25 minutes just
Meteor Hammer,
Hammer.
eventually a Necro Book as well,
Yeah.
then his Treants as well. He just did everything. He threw his body at the towers, and it paid off at the end of the day.
he did the most boring task
The
of the
most
entire game, and he won them the series. And like I guess it came down to this. Like of all the ways to play Dota, Geek Fam just
The Bulldog
fell
style.
back to the whole Bulldog rat, and they won them the game.
Honestly, my mind is still blown at how that game ended up going in the way of Geek Fam, because we saw early on they were getting thrashed
Yeah.
left, right, and center, controlled, killed, ganked. But I think at the end of the day, it came down to Team X also not being able to close out the game. Even though they had a Troll Warlord, he was the only one that was doing damage to towers, because Queen of Pain, Fixers, not really a physical damage hero.
Yeah, he fell off as the game went on, but we'll look at today's standing first by the end of that game and see what the teams have accomplished thus far. There you go, Geek Fam placing themselves at 12 points, same as Unicorn. However, Unicorn has still have 1 series to play tomorrow. They can easily tie out the scoreboard with Flower Gaming. Team S taking 1 game again away from Geek Fam, landing themselves with 9 points at 4th place. P1 Gaming 5th with 6 points. Team Legenda 6th place with 3 points. Dota Hero and Junior Gaming have yet to take a single point off of any team.
Yeah, we're only on week 3 as well. I mean,
And there we go. Cut the results. We're not going to go too much into the first series
Not
because
really.
Junior Gaming forfeited. Flower
This
Gaming got
was-
6 points for free.
yeah, game 2
Yeah.
though, that was almost a 2-0.
Yeah, it
But
was
Geek
so
Fam.
close. When 2D basically one-shotted, I believe, Shanks with Dead Daedalus, I thought it's going to be over in like 30 seconds, but they held on. By the skin of the teeth, they really did. And you
That's
can see the commitment.
so far, I have to say, this tournament is not, I want to say it's cursed, but it's cursed in a good way, where it always seems to be like our last game of the day is always the best game.
Yeah, like you just see everyone throw their bodies at the throne. This is how important the throne is in Dota, people. People literally throw their bodies at the structure to get a win. This is tomorrow's schedules. Legenda will take on P1 Gaming, and Dota Hero will face off against Unicorn to close off week 3.
I mean, second game of the day. I mean, I'm looking forward to Dota Hero versus Unicorns. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. It has been a lot of fun. Geek Fam, again, they dropped game number 1, but game number 2, it wasn't a smooth ride compared to what they did with Legenda last week. It was definitely not the easy mid-game snowball. They really had to grit their teeth, hold the base, and just rat all the way.
Yeah, it really feels like what we witnessed today was Geek Fam. I want to say they were performing at their best that
Oh,
game.
yeah.
They made not all of the moves were the right moves, but they pulled out the cards when they needed it to.
Yeah.
They executed when they had to. They made the plays, and I think just that some of the decision making was on point when they needed it the most.
And
Especially with the split push call, that was perfect.
yeah, we doubted the NP, the Nature's Perfect pick. We doubted the Radiance Juggernaut with the E-Blade. But at the end of the day, in the long run, it was what kept them in the game. The Aegis, the Refresher Shot was what allowed them to, even though they lost the fight, it bought a lot of time. Had they not have those Roshan items, I think the game would have been more in Team X's favor. I wouldn't say ended, but Team X would have a better chance of winning.
Yeah, if anything though, the game is done and dusted.
Yeah,
It's 1-1. We enjoyed ourselves too. I'm pretty sure the players were really into it as well, because that was a very intense match for the viewers, for us as well. I really wish we could interview the team as well. I want to ask Geek Fam.
Like, what was that? You know?
Firstly, I'll ask them, what were you thinking? And then secondly, how did it feel? I really would love to know. I'll have to get in contact with them and I'll, if I can.
Pretty sure it felt really amazing for them, but I don't think Team X would be too disgruntled with that loss, because Geek Fam fought with everything they got. They threw everything. They put every single trick out of the book, and I would say a great series is still tied up. So Geek Fam are really starting to see the potential of the other teams that we consider kind of an underdog at this point, and at the same time, I think I don't know if this time is appropriate to say Dirty Dota won Geek Fam game number 2.
It was, yeah, I mean, it was not clean Dota, as some people would say. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a mess,
It was
but
a
it was a beautiful mess, as
Yeah.
some would say.
Great ending to close out the day, and that's it from us. We gotta
I
sign
think
off right now.
we need a break as
We need
well.
a break
That
as
was
well.
a
Thank you
lot.
guys for tuning in. More games tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. to close out week number 3. And with that being said, we're gonna sign off. I'm HusKKiee. She's Danelie. Good night and goodbye.
We'll see you all tomorrow.